whoever made this deserves 100 for sure.
All right, obviously those Atlanta Braves very thrilled to be part of the Diamond Club. And Mero, as you would expect, this team is loaded top to bottom.
Bro, they're more loaded than like the fries at Checkers, dog. Like they have a squad over there. Ronald Acuna is like.
Have you met him?
I've met him. Super nice guy, super humble dude. I thought he was Dominican for a very long time. So I approached
He's Venezuelan?
He's Venezuelan. I approached him very Dominicanly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you claim him. You claim him.
Yeah, no, he's one of us. He's one of us. But again, like, absolute stud. Y'all seen it, 40-70 season last year, you know what I mean? So, like, I think he's on pace to do the same thing. Clearly, he's in the Diamond Club for a reason, you know what I mean? And, man, like, I'm just excited to watch him play because he's one of those guys that's, this word is often overused in sports, electric.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And electric is a good way to describe the fastball of Spencer Strider. Woo. The K per 9, a 95. The slider is filthy. Oh, by the way, get used to those new pinpoint mechanics in 2024. Yeah. I love what this guy can do. I love the number, the 99, and that fastball is hot.
It's hot, and the mustache is also hot. It's giving Yankees.
It's a nice look.
It's giving Yankees. Listen, I'm just saying. Like, listen, we know I'm biased, okay? You look like you belong in pinstripes, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest with you.
Hey, he just re-upped. I mean, he just signed an extension with the Braves, so he ain't going anywhere.
Anything can happen.
Matt Olson also, not too long ago, signed an extension with the Atlanta Braves. His overall rating is 95. The power against lefties is at 84, left on left. Okay. You love it when you can take your opponent deep on a left-on-left scenario, but the power against righties, right near the top, 99.
Untouchable. And he deserves it, man. This guy's been mashing. Killed it last year.
And how crazy is it, Mero, that for this young man to take over for Freddie Freeman, an iconic player for that franchise, and he comes right in and nearly equals the same kind of production that they were getting from Freddie Freeman, one of the best in the game.
One of the best in the game. Like you said, steps in, doesn't miss a beat. And I think the future is very bright for you, bro. The future is very bright for you. Listen, lock in. This is your year. You know what I mean? And you're on a team with Ronald Acuna Jr. And people are talking about you. So all of these guys, Mike, you know what I'm saying? All you guys, lock in.
Well, let's talk about Michael Harris II. Started off his sophomore campaign last year a little bumpy, but then found his stride. Once again, contact against lefty, left-on-left matchup, he's at 90. And then the contact against righties is actually, it's a reverse split here. For Michael Harris II. 89 overall is the center fielder's overall rating. But the signature play for me last year for Michael Harris II, it came obviously in a series they lost. But that victory, the win against the Philadelphia Phillies when he doubled up Bryce Harper in Game 2, that was one of the most exciting plays of the postseason. But Philly fans in the chat will be quick to tell you, hey, we won the series.
No, we won. Scoreboard.
Yeah, yeah. So, again, this roster, this franchise, loaded. They are in contention every year, and these guys are a big reason why. Ronald Acuna Jr., who can forget his milestone card last year in 23, the 40-70 card. That card was in my lineup as soon as I could get it, and it's still in there.
It's still in there.
Spencer Strider is at 97, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Sean Murphy behind the plate, and Michael Harris II rounding out the top 5, both in at 89.
If my kids brought that home as a report card, I'd be very satisfied.
Yes, that is a good report card. All right, let's stay in the National League East, and let's talk about the Miami Marlins. All right, Luis Arraez. Mero, all he did was win a second consecutive batting title, and he did it in a different league. In 2022, he did it as a member of the Minnesota Twins. Last year, of course, with the Miami Marlins. I love their City Connect jerseys. The contact against lefties and righties, it don't matter. It's all a 99.
He's putting the bat on the ball.
This guy mashes, dude.
He's a hitter, bro. He is a hitter's hitter.
He is the old school, spray the ball, low strikeout. And he can jump you every now and then, but the contact tool is where it's at.
Contact is insane. He's like a little league coach's dream.
Right.
Just put the bat on the ball, put it in play.
That's it.
That's it, bro. He gets on.
You know, Sandy Alcantara, it will not be available for the Miami Marlins this year. He's recovering from Tommy John surgery, but they do have a young pitcher that is almost, Mero, like his clone. If you put their two motions and pitching deliveries, it's almost the same. And Yuri Perez, he's near the top in two very important categories. He's not going to get beat by the long ball, and he's going to come through when there's men on base. The pitching clutch is at 99.
99. You need that. You need a guy that you could throw out there, bases juiced, crowd is going nuts, and he'll get you that out. And Eury Perez, you know what I'm saying? De lo mío personal is one of those guys, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, they will definitely miss Sandy, but Eury, I think, is, to your point of Spencer, kind of like slide right in there, you know what I mean? Fill that role, and I don't think they'll miss a beat.
Yeah, they were very careful about his innings limit, Yuri Perez, last year. I'll be interested to see how much they let him pitch in 2024. All right, Jazz Chisholm Jr., he was, of course, the cover athlete last year. 83 overall. Okay, power against righties is at 80. Batting clutch also is at 80. I don't know, can we bring Rory in here real quick?
Yeah.
I know this is a little unprompted. Rory, this feels a little low to me. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I would say the Jazz, he's had a great time in his major league career so far. Kind of where he's fallen down just a little bit in his ratings, which kind of hits the overall, is his verse left attributes.
Okay.
As you can see, verse right, very good. Since he moved to center field, still kind of getting adjusted to him defensively, so we're getting the fielding metrics up there. I imagine this year, with another year under his belt, his fielding ratings are going to go up. With him being healthy, again, that's going to also play a big role this year.
Sure.
We're looking to see him be super healthy. He missed quite a bit of time last year, which it does help. It does hurt him just a bit in that overall. But we're looking for him to bounce back this year, get a full season under his belt. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe 30-30 type numbers from him.
Yeah, I know he has said that he is capable of 40-40, and I believe he has the talent.
100%.
It's just as Rory was saying, can he stay on the field? Certainly, the Miami Marlins are hoping that's the case. All right, more from Rory in just a second, but meantime, let's stay in with the Miami Marlins and take a look at the top five. You got the pitcher, Tanner Scott, the reliever, is checking in with the highest overall rating among the Miami Marlins. Yuri Perez, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Sandy Alcantara, we will not be seeing him on the field in 2024. And then don't sleep on Jake Berger, Miro. He was very good coming over from the White Sox last year.
He was, and he has a great name.
Always a great name.
You know what I'm saying?
Acquired from the White Sox back on August 1st at 2023. All right, we're going to check in at the Mets and check in with two of their stars, starting with the polar bear, Pete Alonso.
So I think I'm between like an 88 or a 90. Oh, right on. Sick.
Last year, I think I was in the 85 mark, so hopefully I got better. Let's get 89. No way. 92, that's a good one. I'm getting up there.
All right, so good to hear from Francisco Lindor and, of course, Pete Alonso. Miro, I think Francisco Lindor, he got off to such a slow start his first year with the New York Mets. But since then, he's been really good. You take a look here. He's a 92 overall. Power against lefties. He's a switch hitter. He mashes and kills left-handed pitching.
All day.
That's at 99. The fielding, it's a little low for me, but that's at 80.
Yeah.
But look at last year, Francisco Lindor, fourth player in Mets history to have a 30-homer, 30 stolen base season. He's got a lot of expectations with that contract, but he's been pretty good for them.
He's been playing up to it, man. He's been playing up to it. 30-30 is not unreasonable for him to repeat this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got everything you need to. He's got the tools, guys. He's got everything you need, and he has something about him it's kind of like an it factor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not an it factor in terms of like marketability. It's an it factor on the field.
Yeah.
Like he has this energy of like, he reminds me of like Jose Reyes in a way, where he's just like playing the game, he's having a good time, and that emanates throughout the park, man. You win when you're having fun.
Right. Well, Pete Alonso certainly has fun when he's at the plate. He is one of the most prolific power hitters in the game.
El oso.
As evidenced by these numbers here. Look at the powers. It doesn't matter if it's lefty, righty, ambidextrous, amphibious, whatever
Throw
you
with
want
your
to call
foot.
it. Yeah. A 99 as part of a 90 overall. I love what this guy does. One of the reasons I like Pete Alonso is he understands, he loves being part of this Mets franchise. He understands that he's one of the foundation pieces and he's one of the faces of this franchise. I think it's going to be interesting to see what his free agency looks like if he and the Mets are unable to work out a contract extension.
Stevie, You know what to do, Uncle Steve. Come on, you got to keep this guy in the fold. He is the Mets.
Alonso has led the majors with 192 home runs since making his major league debut back in 2019. All right, Edwin Diaz, of course, last year we didn't see him because of the injury suffered in the World Baseball Classic, just a fluke injury. He's at 89 overall, but Miro, we're going to hear the trumpets again, hopefully very soon at Citi Field.
No, this guy's, I feel like that fluky injury just put him in a position to come back this year and absolutely just flame everybody he sees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the guy, he was already like a rocket launcher pre-injury.
Yeah.
And now he's just had a year off to just rehab and like get his stuff back, get the things working. I think he's gonna have a big year, man. And listen, I love the Mets. I'm not a Met hater. I love New York baseball. This team has not necessarily lived up to expectations.
Yeah.
I think this year they turn it around, man. They live up to.
Well, they're in a tough division. They're arguably in the toughest
yeah.
division in all of baseball, and you got two monsters with the Braves and the Phillies. But we'll see what the Mets can do.
I got a hot take about the Phillies, man.
Okay, all right, stand by for that. Let's take a look here at your overall ratings, the top-rated players for the Mets, Lindor, Alonso at the top. And then you got Kodai Senga checking in with an 86. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury early in spring training, so we'll have to monitor that. So take a look here at your power hitters here. And Pete Alonso is part of this list here. Power against lefties and righties, matching 99s, along with Aaron Judge. We're going to talk more about the Yankees in a second. And I found myself a little surprised that Max Muncy is on this list here. Power against lefties and power against righties with the twin 97. All right, let's bring back Rory here. What do you make of Max Muncy? Were you surprised that he was in that mix there? I mean, the guy's a very, very accomplished hitter as part of a very powerful lineup. But what do you make of Muncy's spot in this list?
Yeah, Muncy's an interesting one. In terms of total home runs the past 3 years, like he's up there towards top 10, top 15. His metrics on, exit velos and everything, he still rates up as one of the tops. He's missed some games in the past few years, and so that kind of brings him down below where he would be in full-scale seasons in terms of total home run production. Another thing that he does super well is he draws lots of walks. And the way that we come up with our power metric, it goes off of home runs, goes off of how many at-bats you have. So with the amount of walks that he gets, it kind of helps out with those power numbers. And because he's so balanced hitting homers versus both righties and lefties, he does get up there as one of the top power hitters in the game. And
J.D. Martinez, Rory, a veteran power hitter, accomplished hitter in his own right. Unfortunately, at this time of the stream, doesn't have a team right now. He's still currently a free agent.
Yeah, J.D. Martinez, funny, he's one of my favorite hitters, has been for the past, 10 years since he's been called up. The way we look at him, last year he had an insane season, 33 home runs in like 105 games. In terms of a full-scale season, if it was on a 162-game level, he's hitting over 40 home runs, which is kind of getting back to where he was in Boston in those last few years. So it's more of looking at, last year he was insane. You look at his percentile rankings for exit velo, barrel percentage, he was 98th percentile. So the power is definitely still there with JD. Yeah. And honestly, if I'm not a GM, but if I were, he would be on my calls that I'm picking up right now.
Oh, no, without a doubt. There's a handful of teams that could use J.D. Martinez right now. Hey, real quick, Rory, before we let you go here, there's a few people in the chat I think rightly questioning Yordan Alvarez. He is not on this list. If we could put that list up there again, you do not see the big Astros slugger on this top 5 list. Top 5 hitters with at least 93 power against left and right. What do you say to that?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Yordan he falls just right off of this list. I think it's like 99 power right, 90 power left. So he is still there in, top 10 for our ratings. In terms of him as a hitter overall, we're probably going to get to it later, but his contact ratings have him up as one of the top hitters just all around in the game. So don't worry, Yordan Alvarez has very great power, very great contact. He is a great player in MLB The Show.
Oh, without a doubt.
That was Roflo.
Yeah,
by the way,
I was actually the one. I was posting all these Yordan Alvarez comments under my pseudonyms in the chat. So that was all me, Joe.
Put some respect on Yordan's
Yeah,
name.
that's right. All right, we will talk about the Astros and get to that American League West, but let's continue on in this National League East. And let's talk about the Washington Nationals, where some members of the team staff take guesses on what they think Joey Meneses' clutch rating is, starting with former Nats player Sean Doolittle.
Clutch batting. Big RBI guy. 93.
Oh, he's the definition of clutch. Gotta be in the low 90s to me.
91.
Maybe 80?
Way higher.
Higher.
Way higher.
95? 98. Wow. Oh my. Hopefully this year.
Joey Meneses even surprised himself a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know, Roflo. You tell me, because you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like he was selling out a little bit. He was like, oh wow.
I think he just didn't want to. I think he didn't want to overestimate. So he went on the low side. You take here. He's a 75 overall. He's got a great story. He took a long route to the major leagues, but he has become a very important part of what I think is going to be a very, very good Nationals team soon, and maybe sooner than you think, because while we're not talking about some of these players now, they've got a very rich farm system, including James Wood. And for you Diamond Dynasty players, I know you're still using that James Wood Future Stars card. Big dude playing outfield from the left-handed side of the plate. All right, Josiah Gray, the cutter control.
Joe.
92.
My guy.
Pitching clutch, 92. All part of a 74 overall. He's a New York area kid, right?
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something about this guy. He is built for this. He is built for this. In the conversations I've had with him, man, I saw him All-Star last year. The guy is a stud, and like you said, like that rich farm system, man, is just gonna feed these. It's gonna keep feeding this team, man. I am very excited about what they're about to do, man. Because, hey, Joe, if you're listening, you got it, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got the juice.
Hey, we got a couple of former champions here. We got Zazzy and Kreiner in the chat. Two guys very, very, very good Diamond Dynasty players. They've won a lot of money playing this game, so appreciate you guys hanging out in the chat. Also, shout out to all you toxic players that are in the chat. You bunt cheesers and rage quitters. You rage quitters, when I go deep in L2 on you, don't get mad. And don't rage quit before the ball lands.
Come on.
Let the ball land before you quit.
The game is the game, baby.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta take it out to savor the W's.
Come on.
Okay? All right.
Okay, let's talk about Nick Senzel here as we continue on with the Washington Nationals. 72 overall, Miro, with a very good contact rating against left-handed pitchers at 88.
Okay.
And then the power against lefties is at 70s. He's sporting those sweet City Connect jerseys. I heard that they're going to be discontinuing these City Connect jerseys. I love these.
I love these. Yeah, listen, some of them were not the best. Some of them are tremendous. Why don't we try something different? Let's take a fan vote. Which ones did you guys like the best? You can say it in the chat. Be as toxic as you want.
Are you talking overall City Connect?
Overall.
I think the Marlins City Connect jerseys, I think those are the best ones. Yeah.
I like the Seattle one myself. You know what I mean?
Those are also good. Those are also
very
good.
nice.
All right, here's the top overall players for the Washington Nationals. Definitely an ascending team. You've got Lane Thomas at the top at 83. Hey, look who's here.
Hey, Joey Gallo.
The Battle Royale god himself, Joey Gallo, just under 80 at 79. Stone Garrett, Hunter Harvey, Joey Meneses, and Eddie Rosario are in at 75. All right, that's going to do it for the National League East. Let's jump into the National League West. And let's start with everyone, or nearly everyone's World Series favorite this year, the Dodgers. Teoscar Hernandez attempting to guess some of his ratings. Check this out.
Dímelo.
I think it is, I'm going to say 89. Close.
All right.
You always need to go above. I think it's really high, but I'm going to say 93. 89.
And then last.
Okay, a couple of housekeeping things. One, yes, I'm with you. I'm surprised C.J. Abrams was not on the Nats top 5 overall. I might want to check in with Rory on that. And then two, we're waiting on a guest for the Philadelphia Phillies, so we have not forgotten about the Phillies. We're going to circle back, but this is live TV.
This is how
it's
it
a
works.
live stream. You got to adjust,
Gotta
all
roll
right?
with the punches, man.
Look, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they signed everyone.
Everybody.
They signed Shohei. They signed Teoscar. They traded for Tyler Glasnow. They signed Drake. They got Meek Mill in a trade.
Yeah, I think they got Future and Jay-Z.
Absolutely. So they got everyone.
Cash considerations.
But it starts, of course, the big-time acquisition with Shohei Ohtani.
Come on.
And he is a 99 off the jump.
Guy's an alien.
And the power against righties, yes. The power against lefties, absolutely. We're not going to see him on the mound this year, Miro, but I have a feeling maybe that might make him even more prolific at the plate.
Oh, 100%. This guy, listen, nobody has done what this guy does. My good friend, CeCe Sabathia, said he is the greatest of all time. I'm not ready to go there yet because there's a lot of baseball to play for Shohei, but we've never seen this before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I think the fact that he can't pitch this year, he's going to lock in so hard on hitting. Listen, man, I'm seeing records being broken. I'm seeing, all types of wins happening. Shohei's going to Shohei, man.
Won his second AL MVP in 3 seasons.
Might win a third.
And it might be in a different league. He might go back-to-back MVPs in different leagues. Now, again, he's not going to be on the mound, so I'll be interested to see how that impacts his MVP candidacy, should we get there that far. Real quick question for you in the chat. If Shohei Ohtani does not play another game, is he in the Hall of Fame?
Ooh. I would say, man, listen, there's a lot of...
It's tough, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, man.
I think he is. And, oh, by the way, a DH has never won. Max, do I have that right? DH has never won the MVP. Yeah, full-time DH has never won MVP. So
we might see the first.
Yeah,
next year.
Do with that what you will. Let's talk about Mookie Betts, okay? He was the runner-up for the 2023 NL MVP, of course, won by Ronald Acuna. And Mero, he is also a 99 off the jump. The contact versus righties is at 82. He mashes left-handed pitching. Mero, to complete the Dodgers Live Series collection, you might have to take out a second mortgage. Yeah. These cards are going to be pricey.
Listen, man, if you have a car in your driveway that you don't use a lot, you might want to sell it right now to get one of these cards because they are they're jumping right now.
Yeah.
It's like Apple stock. Because it's up. It only goes up.
One of the other mini acquisitions they made in the offseason, the trade for Tyler Glasnow, who they traded for and subsequently signed to an extension. Tyler Glasnow, 90 overall, the hits per 9 just under 80. That curveball, that big hammer, that big Uncle Charlie is at 99. And I can't imagine what it's like to step into the box against this Greek god.
Man.
First of all, you're mesmerized by just the gorgeousness of his face.
Come on.
He's got the long flowing hair.
Chiseled.
6'6", and he's throwing absolute gas at you on a mound, and he's basically handing the ball to the catcher.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like
a scary matchup.
Right, he's like a tight end that pitches. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And listen, man, they got him. Man, this guy is, I can't wait to see that curveball live, bro, because it is nasty.
Yeah, now the question is, how much can he pitch? Can he stay healthy? Because obviously the Dodgers rotation needs him. So just to recap, let's take a look at the Dodgers' top 5 overall, and we're probably leaving some quality players off of this list as well. Freddie Freeman is at 94, right below the 2 99s in Ohtani and Betts. Clayton Kershaw still hanging around. He's at 91, and then the aforementioned Tyler Glasnow is at 90. All right, what about your reigning and defending? The team that knocked out the Dodgers in the playoffs. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen and Corbin Carroll try to guess each other's ratings. Listen to this.
Should be 100. I don't know. What are they going to give you? It's like a 93 or 94 would be my guess. 50? 91. Solid. 91? Damn, you broke the 90 barrier.
I'll take that.
That's pretty solid, actually.
After 1 year, that's respectable.
That's pretty solid.
Gal, I mean, top 5 Cy Young 2 years in a row.
It's gonna be.
I'm gonna go
93. No chance. 91. Damn, we really got 91. We
Twins.
broke the 90 barrier. That's solid.
You good with that?
Yeah, we'll see.
Two things. I love the Arizona Diamond hats for spring training. It's a very good look. And two, look, we all know the Dodgers are the heavy favorite in that division, but this Diamondbacks team, they're not going to concede anything.
No
I also
way.
like what they did in the offseason, and they got Corbin Carroll, dynamic off the top of the order, and Zach Gallen, one of the best pitchers in the National League.
Come on, man. Rookie of the year, top 3 Cy Young guy. Like, they're going to be in the mix. They're going to be. It was not a fluke last year. They're going to be they're definitely going to be in the mix, and these guys are young, and they are cooking.
Zach Gallen right here is a 91 overall. Finished third in the Cy Young voting last year. He was a first-time All-Star, went 17-9. He is the ace of that Diamondback staff, and they added to that staff, getting Eduardo Rodriguez. So as you're seeing some gameplay footage here, I can't wait to see what this team does in 2024. And also, too, Corbin Carroll. What does he have in store for an encore? The speed, of course, Miro, 99.
Come on.
Batting clutch, 96. He had some big moments in the postseason. He's a 91 overall. Who does he remind you of? I mean, I think of maybe like a Ricky Henderson off the top from the left-handed side, maybe.
Yep. The guy, like, listen, he is not. He's one of those guys that steps into the box in a big moment. Stadium is rocking, and he delivers. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of those guys. A lot of guys, they have the tools, but they don't have the
recognition,
the je ne sais quoi, the recognition to like this is a big moment. I got to get on base here. I got to make something happen. He's one of those guys. He makes things happen.
Thrilly Dilly 94. These are not Diamond Dynasty ratings. These are live series ratings only. We're going to talk about Diamond Dynasty. We're going to talk about Road to the Show in just a little bit later in the stream. Also, drops are active. Make sure your account is up and running. One of my favorite players and one of my favorite cards to use, no matter what the card is. Ketel Marte. 89 overall. I think that's a tad low for me. But he really, I think, ascended as a superstar player, one that is worthy of being recognized as a superstar in the World Series and postseason.
100%. He did his thing in the postseason. He did his thing in the World Series. Listen, this guy, give him the point. Rory, give him the point. Make him a 90, man. Come on. He's one of those guys. Just give him that one extra point.
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
276, 25 homers last year for Ketel Marte, and he was the 2023 NLCS MVP in helping the Diamondbacks get to the World Series. So once again, your top 5 rated players for the Arizona Diamondbacks: Zach Gallen, Corbin Carroll, both at the top at 91. Ketel Marte, Christian Walker, one of the more underrated players in all of baseball. He's at 88. And then Merrill Kelly. I think that might be a little bit too low for me, or maybe I'm too easy of a grader.
A grader?
Yeah, Merrill Kelly is at 83. All right, let's bring in Hunter Pence, former big leaguer. He's also a gamer himself.
Hey.
He loves the video games. He loves the MLB The Show as well. And Hunter, how are you, man? How's it going?
Hey, what's happening? You too, man. It's great. I'll never forget how bad you kicked my tail in MLB The Show, but it was definitely a pleasure.
Yes, the people in the chat should definitely go seek that out. Just Google my name and Hunter Pence and MLB The Show.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere. Hey, we thought we would jump in and talk about and go back to and visit with talk about one of your former teams, the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper, of course, is at the top of that list, I imagine, when you're talking about ratings. But just overall, you see here, Bryce Harper is a 91. Contact against righties is at 90, and then he's also a 90 when it comes to clutch at the plate. What are your impressions of Bryce Harper when you consider that he's changing the position? He's gone from the outfield to now first base.
You know, I just know that he's got such good coordination. He's got such good hands, baseball IQ. He's been doing this since he was real young, and we are watching him kind of in his prime where he's put the insane talent and on top of just mastery of the craft. So, like, we're watching. The only reason that I think Bryce Harper could even be remotely in a 91 versus like a 99 or 100 is as long as he stays healthy, this dude is one of the best hitters we have ever seen. And it's just been absolutely crazy to watch the last 2 years what he's been able to put together. And his at-bats as a like someone who like is a deep baseball enthusiast, his at bats are insane to watch these days. The pitch discipline, the clutch hitting as well, and he's just like on a different planet right now as far as hitting. So first base, I think is going to be it's going to be kind of in the bag for him. He's got the hands, he can do it, and he's gonna be ready.
Yeah, and as you said, he loves the moment. There's no moment that is too big for Bryce Harper. He loves that stage and thrives on it. Zach Wheeler, Hunter, recently signed a contract extension worthy of one of the top players in the game. He has been everything that the Philadelphia Phillies could have wanted when they signed him in free agency a handful of years ago. He's a 93 overall, and Hunter, I love watching this guy work. When you look at the rating for the four-seam fastball control, that's at 99.
Man.
Yeah, and I mean he's got just this fastball that's not normal. Like Wheeler could tell you his fastball is coming, and you can sit on it, and it's one of those pitches that can just beat you. It kind of bores on you. It's very heavy, and to mix that with the slider, he's been in big moments. This guy can pitch in the biggest games, and really, I think that's a great extension for the Phillies and that core that has been, pushing to the World Series and just losing in the NLCS last year. But he's the guy that you bank on. Him and Nola are your 1-2 that go up against anybody in the league. And I just think that he has really been a masterful pitcher. And honestly, I know 93 is a great rating. And I think that's where he stands. I think that's a good rating. But he is one of the elite pitchers that we don't talk about as much in the game of baseball. It's kind of under the radar. And I think he's not really flashy. He's kind of just this grinder. He's going to get out. He's going to grit you. And he's going to be great. And he's put together a couple really amazing seasons. And I think it's going to continue to get better for him.
Moving on, Kyle Schwarber checks in with a 78 overall. Ooh. At first glance, that seems low to me
Come on,
but
we're watching all these short bombs last year.
Yeah, he did bat. He was below 200 for most of the year. I think he ended up finishing that, so I'm sure that dinged him a little bit. Yeah. But Miro and Hunter, you can follow up after Miro. 47 home runs from this dude, and he hits tanks.
Bro, he hits absolute bombs. Like, that's what he does. That's why the average was a little low.
Yeah.
He chased a little bit, but when he puts the bat on the ball, bro, it's out of here. Whoever's on base, just jog home, dog. Jog home straight into the dugout. Do your sellies, because the guy's hitting tanks.
Yeah, Hunter, second straight season for Kyle Schwarber with at least 45 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, 47 home runs is insane. The guy is electric. He's a leader in the clubhouse. Just talking to I get to do this show where we talk with college baseball coaches around the league, and everyone talks about how great he was. One of the best leaders ever to come through college baseball, and you've seen it everywhere he goes. He was with the Cubs when they won the World Series. He came in and obviously he was hurt all season, but wherever he goes, they win. When he was in Boston, they were making good runs as well. And then he goes over and, you see what happened kind of to Boston after he left, and the Phillies now are doing their thing. So I just think there's intangibles through the roof with Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
And the game, are you going to get this speedy guy, this great defender? No, but are you going to get bombs? Give me that 99 power, and the rest is a wrap, dude. But the intangibles for Kyle Schwarber are through the roof.
All right, so let's recap the top five for your Philadelphia Phillies. Another super team, another powerful team with designs on winning it all again in 2024. Zach Wheeler is at the top. Aaron Nola is checking in along with JT Realmuto at an 87. All right, so we're done now. We've put a bow on the National League East. Let's jump back into the National League West and talk about the San Francisco Giants, where some members of that team were asked about Patrick Bailey's fielding rating.
What should Patrick Bailey's fielding rating be in MLB The Show?
99.
99. To keep him humble, 90. I think it's too high.
Awesome.
All right, Hunter, what did you make of Patrick Bailey? Not only of his rating, but what you saw from him last year?
Obviously you want to see more of it, but what we saw from him last year was as elite as you'll ever see. He did it all. He was throwing everyone out. He was saving games for them defensively behind the plate. I think, once again, this is something that as an enthusiast, as a person who watches the game and studies the game and is constantly learning, his intangibles of working with the staff, his poise, his heartbeat in the big moments. Like, he had tons of clutch hits as well, but defensively, he just won us the Giants some ball games, and really was. I know it's a small sample size, but in that sample size, it's as good as I've seen. And for me, it's like, yeah, throwing runners out, blocking balls, these are musts. These are things. But to be able to call games, to manage a whole staff at that young an age, that to me was what takes him through the roof. And I think that's something that when you're playing MLB show, you're the guy that has to be able to manage and make the right calls and pick the right pitches and outsmart your opponents. But he has that quick wit that Buster Posey was so good at. And I hate to like throw that on him because he just needs to be Patrick Bailey. But there is such a grace about both of them that is really unique that the Giants got both those guys.
Well, you speak of the staff, and they definitely have a really good one at the top of that rotation, and that is Logan Webb. Miro, he is just below 90 at 88 overall. The break.
Look at the break.
And the sinker, the break on his sinker is at 99. And once again, some new pinpoint pitching mechanics. If that's something that you do while you're playing and on the mound, got to get used to that. But Logan Webb, Miro, 11-13 last year. The record's not great, but overall 3.25 ERA. Solid. And led the majors in innings pitched with 216. And that is, I think, a quality that is undervalued.
Thank you.
The ability to post and be available.
Right. The best ability is availability.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, with this guy, he's a throwback to, like, those guys that'll give you – nowadays in baseball, a guy goes 5 innings, it's all right, get him out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy's a workhorse, and that's going to serve you well in the majors, man.
Yeah, second in NL Cy Young voting in 2023. Hunter, your thoughts on Logan Webb?
You know, I think it's so fun to watch him pitch, and the thing is that he has such an amazing, the amount of movement is through the roof with the sinker and the changeup, and the combo is like a 10-mile-an-hour difference, but they're both doing the same thing, and his arm's doing the same thing. He couples that off where the ball is either going to dive this way a long ways or the slider's going to jump off this way. You're absolutely right, though. Innings pitched is like that is like that's your workhorse. That is the showing up and taking on the challenge over and over again. I think this is really underrated. It creates a lot of respect throughout the league. If you're able to get innings for your team, you enhance everyone around you. You make the team so much. You keep everyone in the bullpen so much more fresh. And you have to have the ability to be oppressive in the strike zone to be able to eat that many innings. So he can throw strikes and you can't hit him. And he also can throw the ball where it's moving so much that he's going to get a lot of chase. Logan Webb is definitely a centerpiece for the Giants in their future and the success that they're looking to move forward. He's an ace that can go up against anyone. Give me more than an 88 row flow. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's. I think I could be persuaded to put him in that 90th, that 90th rank there for Logan Webb. I agree with you here. If you're starting a Giants franchise on MLB The Show in 2024, you're going to be able to use, if you so choose, Robbie Ray, who they acquired in the offseason from the Seattle Mariners. One of the more intriguing acquisitions and trades in the offseason. He's a 76 overall. He's going to miss most of this season, Hunter, with Tommy John surgery, but you look at his numbers with control on four-seamers and sliders. What do you think Robbie Ray can give the Giants?
We're talking about, Cy Young caliber, this guy when he is healthy. And I think he pitched a lot of last year. Probably not healthy, ended up having to get to Tommy John. So when he comes back, this dude is a gladiator. I've faced him a lot. He's out there grunting. He's pumping 97, and he's really mastered that slider. He gets some of the most chase you will ever see on the slider. So if they can get a healthy Robbie Ray, if they can stay in contention, this is a dude that is Cy Young caliber. You couple that with Logan Webb. He had a couple starts that were like grenades that just really dug him a hole, and he pitched his way out of it. So I think you're going to get a Logan Webb who probably isn't going to have – you got to believe there's no way he's going to have those grenades that he had early in the season. You get Robbie Ray healthy. Alex Cobb was another, he was the all-star for the Giants last year. Another dude that can just win ball games. I think they're sneaky good like they always are. Yeah. The Giants are always overlooked, but they're always good, and they got some arms. They got to get them healthy, though. You're absolutely right.
If we could go back to the gameplay footage of Robbie Ray, Miro, Robbie Ray is known for wearing very, very tight pants.
Tight pants.
I don't know if we can rack that in. Here we go. Oh. I feel like the gameplay's not doing the tightness of his pants justice here.
One thing I am glad that they did in the show 24 is they did not include the see-through pants.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have the see-through pants.
Yeah, this game is not rated M.
It's not.
So you gotta be very careful about that. All right, Lamont Wade Jr. Late night Lamont. He's a very good hitter. 72 overall. The power against righties. The clutch at the plate is near 80 at 79. Hunter, this guy is sneaky good at the plate. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of recognition nationwide, but the Giants, he's an important part of what they want to do.
Yeah, if he's healthy and he's in the lineup, he's changing the game in a major way. You're looking at, Cuspy All-Star last year in the first half, around an 850-ish OPS, and really just kind of does it all. But I think the clutch factor has to be higher than that with the amount of walk-off hits this guy gets. The bigger the situation, the better he is, and he's got one of the best. This is something that the Giants are really big on is, pitch decision. And he works the count. He gets a lot of pitches. He's like that ultimate top of the lineup guy where he can take you out of the ballpark, but he also is, I watched him get 4-walk games and if you didn't throw him a strike, he's not swinging. He stays in his lane. Late night Lamont is smooth. He's fun to watch. And when he's healthy, he changes the lineup.
All right, let's take a look, guys, at the top 5 overall for the San Francisco Giants. Remember, these are live series ratings, not Diamond Dynasty, not Road. I mean, we're going to talk about Diamond Dynasty and Road to the Show in just a little bit. But you got Logan Webb at the top, Camilo Doval, who is one of the nastiest relievers in all of baseball, tied for the National League lead in saves last year. Jorge Soler, and then the recently acquired and signed Matt Chapman. Those two, along with Wilmer Flores, at 81. Hunter, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Dominican League legend, Hunter Pence.
Thank you so much. Roflo, appreciate it. All the best.
You got it, man. That's Hunter Pence, former San Francisco Giant, former Philadelphia Phillies. Let's continue our conversation with the National League West, and let's talk about the San Diego Padres. And let's check in with the Heartbreak Kim, Ha-Seong Kim.
제 종합 점수는 70점일 것 같습니다. 87. 생각보다 높네요. 내 수비 점수는 90점일 것 같습니다.
All right, so his fielding is at 90. Ha-Seong Kim, you could make the argument that he was the Padres' most consistent player last season. He was excellent. Obviously, he's looking forward to opening the season in South Korea in front of his home country as the Padres will open up the 2024 campaign against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, baby.
So, all right, Fernando Tatis Jr., 92 overall. 88 contact against lefties, and his fielding is at 93. I think fielding is the most interesting, Miro, because this is a guy that last year played right field full-time for the first time and looked very good doing it.
Platinum glove, first year. I mean, what are we doing here? It should be a 95 or above, let's be honest. You know what I mean? The guy still has, the bat works, the fielding is incredible. Guy's a superstar, man. You know what I mean? That's why, he is who he is.
Yeah. 92 overall, 25 homers, 78 RBIs. Remember, he did that in 141 games. Also, Manny Machado right behind Fernando Tatis. He is at 91 overall. Power against lefties is at 85, and the contact against lefties is at 90. Miro, this is a guy that played hurt for a lot of the season last year, but he did manage to put together his 7th season of at least 30 home runs in his 12-year career. He's another guy that he posts every day. He's in that lineup, whether he's hurt or not feeling great, he's in. And
that's it. And going back to the best ability is availability. Like, if you could get in there and play hurt and still give me 30 home runs a season, like adds so much value to the entire franchise team, whatever you want to call it. And he's one of those guys, man. He's one of those guys. I talk about it in baseball a lot. Guys, the guys, name recognition, the guys that put the numbers up that make you recognize them. He's one of those guys. Even if he has an off year or whatever, but like you said, consistently 30 homers, consistently putting up numbers, and he's going to do it again, man. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. Stretch in the shower. I do it myself. Stretch my hamstrings with the hot water. Get nice and limber,
Okay. All right. We'll have to discuss that offline. But remember, Ha-Seong Kim is going to be moving to shortstop for the San Diego Padres this year. He's at 87. Also, at 84 is Joe Musgrove as we talk about the San Diego pitching and their rotation. He's at 84 overall. The curveball break is at 92. He has an ERA of just over 3 in his 3 seasons with the San Diego Padres. He's a San Diego kid, and he's one of the best in the National League.
The numbers are there. He's solid. And when you are a kid from San Diego and you get to pitch for the San Diego Padres, it's like you're gonna get the best out of this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, Lidom legend Hunter Pence said, intangibles through the roof with this guy.
And remember, Musgrove did throw the first no-hitter in Padres team history. I believe that was one of the moments that we've had to complete recently. Xander Bogaerts rounds out this top 5. He's at 84 overall for the San Diego Padres. Remember, he's moving to a new position. He and the Heartbreak Kim, Ha-Sung Kim, are flip-flopping there. Tatis Jr., El Nino is at the top at 92. So that's the San Diego Padres. Let's play another ratings guessing game and check in with Nolan Jones and Brenton Doyle of your Colorado Rockies.
I mean, I hope I'm in like the mid-90s, maybe upper 90s. I don't want to highball myself, so I'll go 95.
So perfect score.
Yes.
I would say that my rating for my arm's 95. Can't beat that.
Accuracy's got to be up there too. I mean, I threw quite a bit of people out. I give myself 98. Hey, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, we'll go 86 on the accuracy. I don't know about that, but.
Again, I like the guys that kind of downplay, what their rating is, or like maybe it doesn't mean as much to them. Yeah. But you can tell that they like it when they hear themselves in that 90 percentile.
Ruffalo, they are excited, and the thing that kills me is just like, dude, you know you're a 99.
Yeah.
You know your arm strength is a 99. You know your accuracy is a 99, and then they go, let me say
kind of downplayed a little bit.
89, 92.
Listen, we know that the Rockies right now are a franchise in transition. I mean, that division figures to be the Dodgers and whatnot. But there are some interesting pieces. Case in point, Nolan Jones, who they acquired in a deal with the Cleveland Guardians. And I can't understand why the Guardians would let someone like this, with this kind of hit tool, get out of their organization. This dude mashes. I'm not sure how many Rocky games you had a chance to watch last year, but playing in that thin air with that kind of pop, this dude is something to be dealt with.
He's going to do numbers. And the thing is, obviously the Rockies are not known for their pitching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for them to be in the position they are with that thin air, with that park, that's a hitter's park.
Yeah.
You guys should be mashing all day. I could mash in that stadium. So I don't know, man, but he's definitely going to do his thing out there. I'm looking forward to it, man, because the Rockies are a fan base in turmoil.
It's a great ballpark to watch a game if you ever get a chance to watch a game. And Nolan Jones, not only is his live series card something that you should consider, but obviously we all know how good his finest card in 2023 was. All right, Ezekiel Tovar, one of the young players that at the big league level for the Colorado Rockies. The clutch tool at the plate, 72. Fielding is at 90. And Miro, this is one of these, as I was saying, some interesting young pieces on this franchise. I think this guy is going to be a very, very good player in the not too distant future.
And that's the thing. It's these guys come in, you kind of like, oh, who is this guy? And you watch their development, and he is going to be a problem. He's fast. The accuracy is there. The arm is there. Everything. The defense, man, listen. Defense in baseball is so underrated.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what I mean? Everybody,
Well, you touched on it with that thin air. People think, obviously, this is the franchise that is known for hitting a lot of home runs, and I'm sure that will come soon.
Oh, baby.
But Ezekiel Tovar, defensively, 13 defensive run saves at shortstop for 2023. So to recap, the top 5 for your Colorado Rockies: Nolan Jones, Ryan McMahon is at 78, Cal Quantrill, their pitcher, is at 76, and then Ezekiel Tovar and German Marquez, who did not pitch very much, if at all, in 2023. Tossed just 20 innings in 2023 as he was nursing an elbow injury.
Well, maybe
All right, let's talk more about Road to the Show, and for that we bring in Steve Merca. He's the design director for MLB The Show. Steve, tell us about the new feature in the game in Road to the Show, where for the first time, fans can create a female ball player and start their journey from the minors to the big leagues.
Absolutely. Yes, for the first time in MLB The Show, you will be able to create a woman ball player and take that journey from minors to the majors, breaking gender barriers and being the first to play Major League Baseball.
Now, what motivated you and the team to add this feature to the game?
Well, we wanted to create a means for women and girls of all ages to be able to find themselves in our game. These are people who love the game of baseball, who love our game, been on the fringe, maybe wanted to play. We wanted to provide an environment for them to find themselves. And baseball's for everyone.
Definitely. Now, give us some of the feedback that you've heard about adding a female create-a-player option in this game.
So we've heard feedback from multiple members of our team and SDS partners who have daughters, friends of daughters, and even friends that had a desire to see themselves because they're playing ball in real life. Their daughters are playing, their friends of daughters are playing in U leagues and just not seeing themselves. So it prompted us. We've been wanting to do it. And now we found a chance that we could, and we went in for it.
Now, what can fans expect as they play through this new Road to the Show option?
They can expect a custom narrative that's fit around the experience itself. You'll be able to experience close to what we have learned the stories around that could be or be told as. You will have a friend named Mia Lewis who will be with you on this journey, so you're not alone. You have a touchstone. And you can expect the progression to be similar to that of any other ball player, too. You'll get better. You'll grind it. You'll see your stats improve. You'll see your attributes improve. You'll unlock perks all the way up to, again, making your way to break through into your first Major League game.
Now, who did you and your team work with to ensure that this mode is as authentic experience as possible?
One of our key contributors was Kelsey Whitmore of the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. She's an outfielder and pitcher, tremendous ball player, and she was very gracious in supplying her time for mocap sessions, so motion capture. She provided us stories and insight to what it's like to play as a woman in professional baseball, and she gave us great feedback on the work that we were constructing to help us shape it even more.
What do you hope that this new addition within the game and Road to the Show, what do you hope that it does for the female ball players that are out there?
Great question. I mean, the power of a video game. We're hoping that what it can do is it can raise awareness of women and girls playing baseball across all levels. We're hoping that they see that there's representation, that we're shining a light that this is a thing. This is a normal part of the world of baseball. Women play, girls play. And we're hoping that they find enjoyment away from the field in our game and playing with us. And on top of it, we're hoping for more bonding moments. We're already seeing the results when we released this on social media that parents are saying, I'm going to bond with my daughter over this. She's been looking for something like this. I love baseball. I love your game. So we're hoping that we're creating more of those moments where people can come together over a fantastic sport.
Well, I agree there, Steve. Great stuff, man. Good luck with the launch. We appreciate the time. That's Steve Merca. He's the design director for MLB The Show. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
You got it. All right, appreciate that. There were, some people that are worried about, well, it's not realistic. I want realism in the game. Let me just say this. Last week, I struck out, playing as Randy Johnson, I struck out Babe Ruth, who's dead, and there was a spaceship floating out in center field.
Guys.
So,
I hit a home run with Hank Aaron into a dragon's mouth. Okay?
Exactly. So,
you know
how it is. All right, so top of the hour here of this multi-hour stream. We're with you here till 5 o'clock Eastern, okay? So buckle up. Mero, Robert Flores, thanks for watching from wherever you're watching for. Let's jump into a new division, the National League Central, and let's talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. They've had an interesting offseason as well. They traded away Corbin Burns. They do have, of course, one of the best closers in all of baseball, Devin Williams, an 84 overall. The K per 9, a solid 99. The hits per 9, very stingy. He is at 99. And he's got That pitch, the airbender, it is filthy. It's a screwball. In the game, it's a screwball. In real life, I don't know what he calls it, but it is filthy, and he's one of the best. And think about the Brewers. They've had Josh Hader and now Devin Williams back-to-back as closers for their team.
They know how to pick them. They know how to pick them, man. And also, here's the thing about the Brewers. Are they going to continue like this kind of like fire sale type of thing that they've been on? Are they gonna lock in, build these guys up?
It's been interesting because the next guy we're going to talk about, Rhys Hoskins, they signed him to a contract this offseason. And then soon after, they traded away Corbin Burns. So you're wondering, where are the Brewers? What are they thinking? But talking about Rhys Hoskins here, he's at 78 overall. We did not see him last year. Remember, he was with the Phillies, Miro, and he suffered a knee injury during spring training. But in 2022, he helped that team get to the World Series, hitting 30 home runs. I can't wait to see what this guy does in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, when a guy gets hurt, they miss a long stretch of playing time, and they come back. It's always a question like, yo, what is this guy going to do when he gets back? This guy has the capacity to have a monster season.
Yeah.
Bro. And I think it's going to happen.
And we saw that animation, I believe it was last year for the first time with the bat spike, and it's back again. So hopefully Rhys Hoskins has that chance to do it this time for the Milwaukee Brewers. Behind the plate, William Contreras, a very solid 86 overall. He does very well against left-handed pitching. Has some decent power against the southpaws as well as 82. Miro, he had 289, 17 bombs last year.
Okay, I think he can improve upon that in this lineup. You know what I mean? But again, another acquisition. You know what I mean? Just brought him in, but I like his discipline.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like his discipline. I think the guy gets on base a lot, and he's going to keep doing it.
Steve says,
get him on, knock him in. Get him on, get him over. Like
Steve says Corbin Burns hasn't been good in 2 years.
Wow.
Well, Steve, that's news to the Baltimore Orioles because they gave him up. They gave up quite a few prospects to get him. So.
Yikes.
We'll see. And also, he's in line for a big payday after the 2024 campaign when he's a free agent.
It's a fuego take.
Yeah. Your top 5 rated players for the Brewers. No Christian Yelich on this list. That's okay. Can we bring Rory in? Is Rory on standby? All right, let's bring Rory here because noticeably absent is Christian Yelich. Now, Rory Yelich has had some injuries and other things he's had to deal with in the past couple of seasons. Where is Yelich, and how come he didn't crack the top 5?
Yeah, Yelich is, I think if you put one more player on there, you're going to see Yelich. He falls off. He had a great bounce-back season last year. Looking at the previous years before that, not quite as great. Looking compared to, what he was doing in 2019 when he put up big numbers. One thing that really does hurt his overall is just his defense. He doesn't have a strong arm in terms of his fielding ability in left field. It's not great. But if you look at his attributes, hitting-wise, he is very solid, and his speed and his steal numbers are both very good. So all around, he is right up there below those players, but he's just missing the list, basically.
All right. The chat was definitely interested on that. And OIT in the chat also says, keep an eye on Abner Uribe in the back of that Brewers bullpen. It's Devin Williams to close, but Abner Uribe is definitely someone that could see a big spike throughout the course of the season. All right, we're going to do the same thing that Craig Counsell did. We're going to go from the Brewers to the Cubs.
Pow! Look at that.
Boom. Here's Patrick Wisdom of the Chicago Cubs.
I think my power ranking versus lefties is an 88.
Okay.
Whoa, 99. Let's go. I'm acing that one. A+. And then against righties, I'm going to say the power ranking's an 85. Okay. Whoa! I'll take the 92, too. That's awesome.
All right, Patrick Wisdom. That's a dude, under certain conditions, he can hit the ball a long, long way.
That series at Rockies, the Rockies is going to be great to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chicago Cubs, of course, they added Cody Bellinger just recently, as Bellinger is going to re-up for the Chicago Cubs for another season. And so, too, is the shortstop Dansby Swanson. Between Swanson and Nico Horner, this is a very, very dynamic double play combination up the middle for the Cubs. He's an 88 overall. And what I like about Dansby Swanson, Miro, the dude's a winner. Yeah. You know, he was a part of a World Series team with the Atlanta Braves, and I think he's a very important part of what the Chicago Cubs want to do as well.
It goes back to the intangibles, man, that Hunter was talking about. Like, when you are a winner, it comes across, man, and infects the dugout. Right. I mean, as a winner.
Won his second consecutive Gold Glove Award, 22 homers, 80 RBIs in his first season with the Chicago Cubs. He is an 88 overall. At 85 overall is one of the more effective left-handed pitchers in all of baseball, and that is Justin Steele. 16-5, an ERA of just over 3 and 173 in a third innings. He finished 5th in the Cy Young voting. He's an 85 overall. And remember, there's no Marcus Stroman there. Yep. And in the absence of when Stroman was hurt at various times in the second half of last season, Justin Steele really stepped up.
Yep. And like you said, right there at a 3 with the ERA, you know what I mean? Solid. Stepped into when Stroh went down, stepped in, did marvelously. I was going to say miraculously, but that's an overstatement. Marvelously. He's going to keep doing it.
Right.
He just needed his chance. Now he's got it.
Well, I think what's interesting is really the whole National League Central as a whole, where, you know, Cubs, Cardinals, Brewers, there's not really one dominant team, so it could be a dogfight throughout the 2024 season. All right, Nico Hoerner, the aforementioned second baseman for the Chicago Cubs, very good vision numbers, and the contact against lefties is at 92. He's an 83 overall. 43 stolen bases last year, and he won his first career Gold Glove Award, and I believe he's a Stanford guy, Miro.
Oh, so he's very, how we say in Espanol, inteligente. Muy inteligente.
You know what I'm saying? Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, nah, man, the guy's got wheels. He can put the bat on the ball, plays defense. He does everything well.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I like that. I like him and Hoerner, him and Swanson up the middle there for the Chicago Cubs. And also up the middle is now Cody Bellinger. He's back. He's the top of the list along with Dansby Swanson. Bellinger and Swanson check in at 88. Justin Steele is at 85. Seiya Suzuki is at 84, and Nico Hoerner rounding out the top 5 at 83. I would have loved to have known where Christopher Morel falls on this list. I love that young kid. I think he has a chance to do something really, really special for the Chicago Cubs. All right, as we turn our attention to the Cincinnati Reds, let's check in with TJ Friedel and Mr. McClain, Matt McClain.
Speed, 80. All right. 84. 84, you got it right. 84.
Contact versus left. I would say 80, 85, maybe 85, 87. Okay, 96. I like that. Clutch. I like clutch. I would go up 85, 90. All right, that's good. I like that.
I love that. You know, and I love this team. Baseball is very regionalized. People hold their own team very close, and rightly so. But if your favorite team happens to be off and not playing on a particular night or day during the season, check out the Cincinnati Reds. They are dynamic and exciting and electric top to bottom. And Matt McClain is just part of a great young core that they have in Cincinnati.
That's young right there. You said it. Young core. These guys are going to grow together. If the front office does what they're supposed to do, these guys should grow together and become a force in the next couple seasons. Right?
Yeah, McClain is an 84 overall, finished 5th in the National League Rookie of the Year voting. He's got some positional flexibility, if that's something you think about for Diamond Dynasty. These, of course, are live series ratings here. 16 home runs for the Cincinnati Reds. But it's now time to talk about Elly De La Cruz. Yeah, 35 stolen bases. He's a 79 overall?
What?
Okay. Now, he did hit 328 in his first 28 games. Good for an average of 235. Yeah. So maybe that's why he's not at least in the 80s. Right. But, man, you talk about tools.
He's got him. He's got him. Listen, this guy, I predict a 40-40 season for him just off the strength of those tools.
Yeah.
And him getting that shot and just electrifying an otherwise kind of like you said, you know, who's checking for us kind of Reds team. He put them on the map immediately. And then via him, you get to see Matt McClain, all these other guys that are like, oh, this is a really exciting young team.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very fascinating division to watch, and the Cincinnati Reds figure to be right in the middle. And if that's going to happen, then Hunter Green has to be a force at the top of that rotation. He's a 78 overall. You know the fastball is hot, checking in at just over 98 miles per hour. Ks per 9 is at 77. And I love what the Cincinnati Reds, the lineup is, as we talked about, young and dynamic, and they've got some very interesting pieces and dynamic pieces in their rotation, and Hunter Green is a part of it.
100%. Like you said, if he stays solid and he becomes one of their guys, go-to guys, this team is frightening.
Yeah, so once again, Matt McClain is at the top at 84. You got Ellie De La Cruz rounding out the top 5. Hunter Green is a notch below him at 78. He's not in the top 5. And neither is one of my favorite young pitchers, Nick Lodolo, in them Lolos.
Hey!
So, okay. All right, let's take a look now. We're calling this Speed Don't Slump. Okay. These are guys that have at least 90 speed and 90 steal. Corbin Carroll, right?
Yeah, come on.
Bubba Thompson, Trey Turner, he's at 92 in the steal factor.
Yep.
Jorge Mateo from the Baltimore Orioles, and Esteury Ruiz. Now he's a guy that could get lost out there in Oakland. They're in a bit of a transition right now, in flux. But Esteury Ruiz definitely can go get it in the outfield, and 100%. He can go steal you some bases with his 99 steal. All right, back here with Rory. We were surprised a little bit. We were talking about Ellie De La Cruz. He's below 80 there on his overall rating. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, so with Ellie, he was crushing right-handed pitching last year versus lefties when he switched around hitting from the right side. Kind of fell down. Numbers weren't as great. And with Ellie, you know, we know the sky's the limit. He's going to be a superstar player. With him, you know, kind of want to start him out maybe a little lower than what people would expect him to be. But don't worry, we'll be watching him very closely, and I'll be watching almost every game he's playing in, and expect him to get up higher very early in the season and might even be cracking 90 by the end of the year.
And then Hunter Green, what went into his rating?
With Hunter Green, he started out the first half of the season a little bit bumpy, but he really seemed to figure something out in that second half. So basically, we're looking at the whole season as a whole. The numbers on the full level, not exactly as great as you would expect, you know, maybe at the 85 where he might have been towards the back half of the year. But we do fully expect him to keep on that momentum, pick it up in this first half of 2024. And he's another one who I would say 85 plus will be where he finishes the year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see an Ellie De La Cruz live series card get supercharged routinely throughout the 2024 season. I love the supercharged element that was added recently. Keep doing that. I love it. Miro, one thing that I think players are most sensitive about, including, especially the fast guys, their speed. And Rory, we showed that graphic about the speed guys there. Give us some of, I mean, are guys very protective of their speed rating?
Yeah, I think some players might view themselves a little bit faster than they might be, and others might undervalue themselves. The way that we go about looking at speed is really straight off of, you know, sprint speed in feet per second. You know, the leaderboards, we have them, and we're looking at them, and that's kind of what we're going off of to base our speed ratings. And if a player does do better at stealing bases while not exactly performing better in the metrics of, you know, feet per second speed, we will give them just a little bit extra speed so they can steal more bases in game.
Miro, I wonder how many guys have actually like challenged Rory. Hey, do you want to race right now?
I'll race you.
I'll race. Don't make me race you.
Barefoot. I'll do it in chancletas.
I'll do it. My speed rating might be like a 20, but hey, I'll take anyone on.
Hey, Yasmani Grandal, I mean, the zero speed, you know, we're kind of going off topic here, but come on, man, I like him at the plate, but I have to pinch run for him every time he's on base.
I know what you mean. When I'm using him, I hit the ball 400 feet in the gap, hits off the wall, and I'm like, oh, there's a single.
There you go. I like the idea of a major leaguer racing someone in chanclas.
Oh, let's do it.
I do like that.
All-Star this year, it's happening.
Yeah. Hey, all right, Rory, stand by. We're going to continue on in the National League Central, and let's talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Ooh. And let's check in with their renegade closer, David Bednar.
I'll give myself a nice 85, maybe. I don't even know what's good. I don't play. I heard it's hard to pitch with four-seam guys in the show, so I don't really know how that rating coincides with it. Oh, nice. Nice. That's an A-. We'll take it. Let's go.
Yeah, a 92 overall. He's one of the best closers in the game. He had an ERA of 2. He tied for the National League lead in saves last year with 39. And, my good buddy Mark DeRosa managed him in the World Baseball Classic last year for Team USA. And he said he was one of his favorite guys. He said, hey, no matter however you need to use me, just let me know. I'm there.
I'm in there.
So he's a gamer and he's ready to go.
He's what they call in Little League. He's a ball player.
He's a ball player. He's also a Pittsburgh area kid. So he's getting the chance to play for his hometown team.
Look at that.
And again, I think the Pittsburgh Pirates are potentially in the mix for this National League Central. I don't know if they're quite ready for a playoff berth or a division title, but I think that they're certainly ascending. And a big reason why, Brian Reynolds. This is the tad low for me as well. 83 overall. The contact against lefties is good. The power against righties is below 80. But he's one of the best outfielders in the game. Switch hitter, 24 homers, 84 RBIs. Lake kind of agrees with me in the chat. He says that's too low. But, Miro, 3rd straight season with at least 20 home runs, and I think that might catch some people by surprise.
I think it does because, listen, a guy like this, Pittsburgh Pirates, not like a nationally televised all the time. You got to really be kind of like locked in on these guys, but I think the power numbers go up this year. The Pirates, and this is a beautiful thing about baseball. Everything we're saying here in this 5-hour session is going to be wrong, in June. So you know what I mean. So, like you said, the Pirates are scary. They're dangerous. They might maybe not ready for the playoffs.
They got off to a good start last year. Then O'Neal Cruz got hurt, and that really changed their fortunes here. But continuing on with the Pirates, Ke'Bryan Hayes is at 81 overall. One of the best or promising young players on this team. And I think he really started to find himself midway last year at the plate. Contact against lefties is at 86, and Miro, the fielding, is at 99. He's one of the best with the glove.
He's one of the best with the glove, man. Look, so with Ke'Bryan, it's again, consistency, health, availability, the tools are there, the defense is there. You can learn how to hit. Defense is harder to teach.
Yeah. Speaking of his defense, and he won his first career Gold Glove last season. It was the first non-Nolan Arenado winner at third base in the National League since 2012.
Oh, man.
So take a look at the top 5 overall. I could make the case that maybe Jack Sawinski could be in this top 5, but I'm not going to quibble too much with it. You got the right names: Bednar, Reynolds, Keller, Hayes, and of course O'Neal Cruz at 79. And speaking of Nolan Arenado, let's pivot to his new team, the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's Nolan trying to guess Paul Goldschmidt's rating. Check this out.
It's got to be mid to high 90s also. I mean, Goldie's a 30-homer guy. He's always been that guy. So I feel like he should be up there with all of them. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, he had a couple in 21 over the left center bullpen. I think he hit one on the over the berm in center field. So, I mean, he's hit some bombs. Goldie's got some big-time juice, so...
All right, well, he's at 91, is Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay.
99 contact against lefties. The power against lefties is at 84. And Paul Goldschmidt, 25 homers, had an OPS of 810, 80 RBIs. Miro was his 6th consecutive full season with at least 25 home runs.
The guy rakes, man. The guy rakes. That's what he does.
Yeah. You take a look at some of the gameplay here. Paul Goldschmidt, one of the really good swings in MLB The Show. All right, here is prospect Mason Wynn and former MVP Paul Goldschmidt trying to now guess Nolan Arenado's fielding rating.
Ooh.
Glove rating, I mean, that's 99. That's no doubt. Come on. That's the best you can possibly be, for sure.
99.
Yeah, I mean, that's
come on.
That's a no-brainer.
As you said,
that's
the
a
guy
no-brainer.
Held down the hot corner, Gold Glove-wise.
He did not win that Gold Glove last season, but he did have his 8th straight full season with at least 25 homers and 90 RBIs. He had 26 and 93. The 86 overall for Nolan Arenado. The fielding, however, is at 90. All right, let's bring Rory back in. Rory, his teammates, Mason Wynn and Paul Goldschmidt, said 99, no-brainer. But he's a 90. How come?
You know, we're going off of just the metrics on how they evaluate Nolan Arenado. Obviously, the awards and accolades speak for themselves with Arenado, and he's got a Hall of Fame career. I want to also point out, 99 fielding is like you are elite, insane numbers, and that does describe Ke'Bryan Hayes. Arenado in past few years has been that way. Numbers just overall aren't exactly insane, but they're also very, very, very good. And a 90 fielding rating is still extremely good in the game. So I don't want to make it sound like we've discounted Nolan Arenado at all, because 90 is still very much respecting the talents that he has in fielding.
Okay, fair enough. Meantime, the St. Louis Cardinals, really added to their rotation in the offseason. They brought back Lance Lynn. They also signed Sonny Gray. Now, Sonny Gray had a little hiccup there with a hamstring issue, but he's an 89 overall. ERA of under 3 last year in 184 innings, and he finished second in the American League Cy Young voting, of course, to Garrett Cole last year. He's obviously a big piece for what the St. Louis Cardinals need and want, because this was a Cardinal team, very uncharacteristic season last year.
Yeah.
And they're hoping that Sonny Gray is a part of turning them around.
Well, I mean, as I'm going to say this 30 times on the stream, as a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
As Yankee free agency signings are known to do, they come to the Yankees, they stink it up, they leave, and they are absolutely phenomenal elsewhere. So I think that's going to continue for Sonny Gray. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he's going to come in, he's going to be a solid piece of that rotation, and that's going to elevate everything else.
I think his time in the Yankees, it wasn't the right philosophical fit. I think what they were trying to get him to do and vice versa, what he wanted to do, it just wasn't connecting. But he has obviously been flourishing since leaving the New York Yankees. So once again, your top, now these are 6 players here for the St. Louis Cardinals, of both Wilson Contreras and Tommy Edman, who was in the infield. Now he's in the outfield. They're both at 84. Hellboy, Ryan Helsley, is at 87. Sonny Gray is at 89. And at the top is Paul Goldschmidt. Let's welcome in Ramon Russell. He's the product communications and brand strategist for MLB The Show. Ramon, as we enter year 2 of this multi-year celebration of the Negro Leagues within the franchise of MLB The Show, what goals did you set out to achieve with this project and collaboration?
I think our goals were the same goals of the museum and probably of any museum: educate, enlighten, and inspire by celebrating the rich history of the Negro Leagues. So everything we've done, every decision we've made on this feature has been in service to that. We knew that we needed to find a very special way to introduce these lesser-known players to a much larger fan base, and we're so happy that the reception has been so positive for Season 1, and we can't wait for everybody to try out Season 2.
Now, while you're playing the game, Ramon, you're literally experiencing a history lesson. So that's one of the things that I really enjoyed and looking forward to in year 2. How many and which Negro League legends will be added to this year's game?
Okay.
Last year we started with 8. This year we're going up to 10. At launch, there will be 4. The 4 players have already been revealed. It's Josh Gibson, a fan favorite. People have wanted him for a very long time. He's finally in the game. His Thunder Twin teammate, Buck Leonard, is also involved in the first drop. Then we have Henry Aaron, and I know people are like Henry Aaron, but you don't know his Negro League story. And rounding off that first 4 is Toni Stone, the first female who played professionally in a men's league regularly. And that's just the first 4. A few weeks after launch, we'll be dropping another 3 storylines. And in a few weeks after that, we'll be dropping the last 3, bringing our total to 10. And the team, all the artists, the engineers, the programmers, Jared, our amazing producers have been working so hard to make storyline season 2 so much better than season 1. And we thought season 1 was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to plug Josh Gibson in my Diamond Dynasty lineup there behind the plate. Not sure that there's going to be a better catcher there that you could use in the life of the game. But what else can fans expect from the Negro League storyline mode in this year's game?
Well, I think you can expect an expansion on what worked last year. We found this really engaging and entertaining way to not only introduce you to some of these lesser-known players, but give you a little history lesson within the context of a video game where you have a control in your hand, and most people are focused on is I want to hit home runs and steal bases and strike people out. So finding that really great balance between micro documentary and gameplay was also very paramount. And this year we've really upped the ante. We have new motion graphics. We've recorded Bob Kendrick a little bit early, so it gave us a little bit more time to try out new things. We have way more licensed music involved in the mode, and music has always been the soul of this project because it really helps Bob tell this story and helps us tell you this story about who we're talking about and that particular lesson that we want everybody to take away from these amazing men and women who are lesser known but just as good as everybody who was playing Major League Baseball at the time.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Bob Kendrick. I could listen to him tell just about any story. And if you X'd past any of those little micro docs like Ramon was talking about last year, do yourself a favor, go back and watch, and then be sure to watch the content this year. Ramon, the collector's edition cover of MLB The Show 24 is paying tribute to the Negro Leagues. Tell us about the inspiration for this cover.
Yeah, so the inspiration was we wanted to be really thoughtful with the collector's edition this year. And when we started looking at old Negro League posters from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, after doing a little bit more research, most people don't know that the Black press played a major role in not only preserving this rich history, but also as a source of Black pride. And that's how we kind of found out about the Negro Leagues and Negro League games, because mainstream press really didn't cover the Negro Leagues. So this collector's edition cover was a time and an opportunity for us to kind of pay homage to the Black newspapers and the Black press that preserves this such important rich history.
All right, Ramon, we'll get you out of here on this one. Tell us about some of the new gameplay additions in MLB The Show.
Oh, the gameplay team is one of the hardest working teams on the MLB The Show development team. Every single year, they're always trying to refine and expand. Baseball as a sport, kind of hasn't changed in a very long time, outside of the bases, getting larger in the pitch clock. So refinement is really, really big. And our gameplay director, Chris Gill, we're always trying to be additive. We want to do new things, but we also want to be additive. So we're always trying to add new animations and change the game in a way that gets rid of things that people were complaining about. Because the way video game development works is you'll have this one issue, and maybe it was hitting. People weren't satisfied with hitting. Yeah. And as soon as we'll get that in a really good space, people stop talking about it and they go to the next thing. And then as soon as we fix that thing or find a balance, they'll stop talking about that and go to the next thing. So the gameplay team, they spend a lot of time watching streams. We watch your streams. We watch everybody's streams. We look at telemetry data. We look at all of the feedback, especially the constructive feedback, to figure out where do we need to fill gaps? Where do we need to add new animations? So playing balls off the wall was very important. Base running was very important because base running changed a lot last year. So our gameplay team is always trying to expand, fill gaps so that you can't tell the difference between watching a game of baseball on your television or playing in MLB The Show.
Ramon Russell, product communications brand strategist for MLB The Show and, of course, Sony San Diego. Ramon, great stuff as always, my man. Congratulations and good luck with the launch. Can't wait to play.
Thank you so much, Robert. Can't wait to watch the streams.
You got it. All right, can't wait to dive into those Negro League storylines in 2024. All right, let's jump back into the ratings. We talked about the National League East. Now we're going to start talking about the American League East and your reigning and defending division champion, the Baltimore Orioles. Here's several members of the O's trying to guess the overall rating of their superstar catcher, Adley Rutschman.
I have 99. Probably put him right at 96.
give him like a 96.
I'll give him diamond status. I'll give him like a 93.
With the year he had last year, I'll give him in the mid to upper 90s. I can't give you exact numbers.
So he had a really good year last year. I think I saw him as a diamond towards the end of the year, so I'm going to say 90, 92.
Out of 99, I mean, it's Adley Rutschman, 99.
89. Nice. I'm trying to go hopefully slightly below.
Hey, I don't know Adley Rutschman very well, but that tracks with what I think his personality is.
Oh,
he's
100%.
like one. I don't want to guess too high, but I'll be fine. Just put me in the 90s. But I actually think 91 overall is a little bit low. When you look at what this franchise was on the field and their results prior to his arrival and then since he came up, it is unbelievable the difference he's made, and he's a huge part of why they're so good.
100%, like you said, and the attitude is part of it. Like you said, like the guy, I met him at All-Star, and during the home run derby, his dad it was like so wholesome.
Yes.
Everything about this guy is so wholesome.
From both sides of the plate, he was hitting
both sides of the
homers.
plate, mashing. Like I said, the guy comes into the franchise like that and just changes the whole kind of like tenor of the clubhouse of the whole franchise. So he is a superstar, guaranteed. Like I think 91 is low as well, but. Listen, as a AL East guy, I'm scared.
You should be deathly afraid of the
scared of
Baltimore Orioles. As a Yankee fan, you should be deathly afraid because this is a team that's going to be a problem this year and the foreseeable future. Now, they recently acquired earlier this offseason in a trade with the Milwaukee Brewers, Corbin Burnes, 88 overall. The curveball control is at 90. The hits per 9 is also at 91. He was acquired from the Brewers for a couple of players on February 1st. He was 10-8 last year. And I think we saw, Miro, with this team that maybe they were a piece short in the rotation department. They got Grayson Rodriguez. He's a future ace and a future superstar.
100%.
But Corbin Burnes is that right now.
Right now, yeah.
And I think he's going to make a world of difference for the Orioles.
And he's going to, like you said, help the other guys that are not yet aces but on track to become aces. You know, there's nothing better to come up under than another guy who's already there.
The Orioles made an acquisition for their rotation in Corbin Burnes, and they also had to acquire some bullpen arms, specifically Craig Kimbrell for the back end. Remember, Felix Bautista, Mount Bautista, he is out for the season for 2024. So the Orioles had to turn to the future Hall of Famer, Craig Kimbrell. And I know some people in the chat are going, future Hall of Famer? You don't know ball, sir. Check the numbers. Check the numbers. Craig Kimbrell will be in the Hall of Fame.
Second most saves amongst active pitchers?
Yeah. He's a 79 overall. Now, he's been a little bit up and down sometimes here recently, but when he's right, he still is one of the premier bullpen arms in the game. It's just a matter of whether or not he can find the consistency. That's it. Right.
When you see that, get nervous.
That's it. And get nervous when you see Gunnar Henderson step to the plate. Let's check in on what his rating is. 87 overall. He is the Rookie of the Year in 2023, had 28 bombs, 255 average, the contact versus righties, an 80 to go along with his matching 80 speed. This guy was a second-round draft pick, okay? And that's still high. But think about that. That's a whole first round of teams that missed on this dude.
We'll get this other guy instead. Played out of his mind. You know what I mean? Obviously, Rookie of the Year. When you get a rating like this as a rookie, that means that Rory and those guys in the lab, they know something's up. You know what I mean? So this guy is going to be a problem this year, and I'd see those numbers dynamically changing throughout the season.
Yeah, he had a WAR, wins above replacement, of 6.2. Did Gunnar Henderson. And, of course, they've got Jackson Holliday. They've got so many other young players that we have yet to even see. Just to recap, your top 5 for the Baltimore Orioles. 91 is Adley Rutschman. Kyle Bradish is at 88. Along with Corbin Burnes, Gunnar Henderson right below at 87. And then Felix Bautista, he is at 86. You'll still be able to use him, obviously, but unfortunately, we will not see him on the field in 2024 thanks to Tommy John surgery.
Felix will also be using Felix.
Now, another very good team with a chance to win this division, definitely make the playoffs, surprise people like they always do. The Tampa Bay Rays. Here's Yandy Diaz of the Rays trying to guess some of his ratings.
Ah, no. Ah, por ahí, ¿verdad? Sí, tienes razón. Vamos a poner, sí, vamos a poner 90. 90. Ya. Nadie, ya. Uf. Ok. No, ahí sí estoy, bro. Sí, pero 80, 80. Coño, manín. Oye, ¿para eso tú?
That's the best. He surprised himself. It's
Oh,
88 overall for Yandy Diaz. The contact against lefties is what stands out here. Pretty wide splits. Against lefties, it's a 96, and against righties, it's 83. You know, I said this a couple of years ago. I'm done discounting and disrespecting and doubting the Tampa Bay Rays. Every year you're thinking, all right, it's a good team, maybe they'll challenge, and they end up finding their way into the postseason.
It's constructed. It's a well-constructed team. You know what I mean? Like, they got guys, but it's more so like the team plays well together, and it's a next man up kind of vibe with them. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like
it's a very unique way in terms of roster construction and team building and also player development. And Yandy Diaz is an example of that. Randy Arozarena.
Come on. Speaking of
85 overall. That seems really low to me.
That's wild.
I think he should be a 90 at least, all right? But maybe I'm way off here. The power against lefties is at 89. The contact against the southpaws also is at 83. 23 homers, third straight season, Miro, of at least 20 homers and 20 stolen bases. And no one has more swag than this dude.
Nobody at all. Listen. He is, and I'm saying this as a certified petty Yankee fan, stereotypical hater. This guy is a problem, bro. He is a stud, dog. Like, and the swag levels are off the charts, which is something I love about, you know, what these younger guys are bringing to baseball. Yeah. Like that, you know, the energy, you know what I mean?
He plays with an edge, and I like that.
I love it, man. Like, listen, 9 innings of baseball could get long, but when you got guys like that will just inject excitement every, 2, 3 at bats, it's, come on, man. You can't beat it.
All right, now let's shift to our attention and talk about the pitchers. Here comes the money. It's Shane O'Mac. Shane McClanahan. Strikeouts per 9 is at 72. Oof. His control here is at 87. He was 11-2 last year in 115 innings pitched. Unfortunately, he's going to miss all of 2024 with Tommy John surgery. But Miro, when this guy is healthy and he is right, he's got one of the most electric arms in all of baseball.
This stuff is nuts. It looks like video game stuff in real life.
Yes.
That's how you know. That's how you know he's nasty.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he will not be available for the Tampa Bay Rays in 2024. All right, so your top 5 for the Tampa Bay Rays. Remember, they started off 2023 with a historic, torrid start, kind of limped towards the end and ended up getting swept by your eventual champion Texas Rangers in the first round. So your top 5 looks like this. Pete Fairbanks out of the bullpen is at 88, along with Yandy Diaz. Shane O'Mac, Shane McClanahan is at 87. Randy Arozarena is at 85. And don't sleep on Isaac Paredes, who is at 84 overall. All right, the Toronto Blue Jays are up next. A team like the Tampa Bay Rays that also has designs on making it to the postseason, winning a World Series, because the talent is there.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at their lineup and especially look at the rotation, and let's start with Kevin Gausman. He's a 90 overall. Miro, he finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting last year. He had an ERA of 3.16 and his K per 9. 11.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. His split finger, fork ball, whatever you want to call it, it's dynamic, and he is definitely one of the best in the game.
He is going to cook this year. You hear me? Look at me in my eyes. This guy's going to cook this year. If you got him on your fantasy team, if you don't have him on your fantasy team, put him on your fantasy team.
Yeah, so Kevin Gausman, of course, leads that rotation for the Toronto Blue Jays. And in the infield, you got Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette, his overall is at 89, just misses that 90 rating barrier. But his contact against lefties is at 99. The contact against the right-handed pitchers is at 95. I hear that we're getting new hair mechanics.
I was going to say.
So this fits right in with Bo Bichette. No one is going to benefit more from the new hair mechanics in MLB The Show 24 like Bo Bichette.
Come on.
He led the American League. He has led the American League in hits since the start of 2021 with 555.
Quietly.
The guy rakes.
Quietly raking, just over there, just putting up numbers. You know what I mean? Not making a big deal about himself.
He's got the long hair, the flow. I don't know if he's using a flat iron to get it looking like that good.
I heard
he's got the pants that go up above the knees.
Come on, old school.
He's got a whole look that's going on.
Come on, man. The keratin treatment is working for the hair, bro.
Yes, yeah. You can remember, you got to condition afterwards and let the conditioner sit for a little bit.
A lot of people don't know this. A little avocado.
Oh, we're going to have to discuss this offline. Jose Barrios checks in at an 81 overall. Walks per 9 is at 77. That break on his slurve is at 91. And I still remember him getting taken out early of that playoff game against the Minnesota Twins. I'm not even a Blue Jays fan, and I was annoyed by it. But last year, he had an 11-12 record. The ERA was 3.65. He did have a rough 2022 campaign, but it looked like he started to make some positive strides in 2023.
Absolutely.
With Gausman and Barrios at the top, if you can get Alek Manoah to bounce back after his disappointing season, this is a very, very dangerous team.
100%. And like you said, you got Gausman up there, up top, Barrios. You feel supported as the third guy. You know what I mean? There's not so much pressure on you. You just got to be solid.
Absolutely.
You don't got to be stellar. You got to be solid.
And our 2024 cover athlete, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at 90. Shout out to those of us that are still using the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. card that just became available in 2023. That card rakes. Hopefully we can get some really souped up Vlad Jr. cards during the life of the 2024 game in MLB The Show 24. All right, let's talk about the Boston Red Sox. Let's check in with Trevor Story of the Red Sox.
I'm going to go fielding. It's on a 100 scale, right? Yeah. I'm going to say like 96. Dang, that's pretty close.
Though, pretty close.
I would say, I mean, if it's over the past couple years, not great. But over, I guess, my career, I would say it's like a 93. Ooh, okay. I mean, that's fair. Recency bias. I'm all right with that.
I like when guys recognize their own weaknesses, if you will, their own things that they've struggled with. And Trevor Story readily admits, says, hey, last couple of years I haven't been available. But when this guy's in the lineup, he's a very dangerous hitter at the shortstop position.
You got a game plan for the guy.
Oh, absolutely. So Trevor Story with that 87 durability. Let's talk about Rafael Devers, who is an 87 overall. First of all, I love any Rafi Devers card in this game. The swing is smooth as butter, and I imagine that is going to be the case for this live series card in 24. The 83 power against lefty, the 90 power against righties. The interesting thing about Rafi Devers cards throughout this game that I found is a lot of these cards, not live series, which is what we're talking about now, but some of these other cards, they have reverse splits. So if you can time up a left on left, that Devers card will get you a tank.
Will get you a tank.
Yeah.
Yo, and did he go down from last year? Was he in 89 last year? Now he's in 87? Rory?
Let's see.
Explain yourself.
I don't know. Siri, you're going to have to be quiet. We're trying to do a stream here. Let's see if Rory is standing by. There he is. Rory, the 87 rating for Rafi Devers, how does that compare with, if you can recall off the top of your head, what he was rated in 23?
Off top of head, I know it was upper 80s. It might have been 89. It might have been around the 87 mark. With Rafi, the guy can hit. There's no doubt about it. And his ratings, like you mentioned, he can hit both righties, both lefties. He's still, work in progress defensively, which, that's what's bringing the overall down. His speed's also not quite there, which does take a bit of a hit to him. But I would fully expect this year he's going to hit at least 30 homers again, might hit 40. And then when he does that, he will be going up above over that 90 overall mark for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Hype Man Max, great username, saying that Devers is way better than Vlad. But as you pointed out, Rory, maybe the defensive metrics are causing his overall to come down or be a little bit lower than you might expect, correct?
Yeah, I guess if we're comparing both of those two overalls, there's also the difference of position. You know, Devers is at third base, where you're looking a lot at fielding is going into that overall weighted a bit more than Vlad at first base. Vlad past 3 years, if you look at the whole numbers, actually is extremely good. Still been amazing. You know that 3 years ago, 2021 season where he just went off insane. He kind of set a super high bar for himself. So people kind of just have that high expectation for him to repeat that each year. If you look at his 22 and 23 numbers, he was a very solid hitter, very good. So on overall, he has been very great.
And as Paul Sporer, who's watching the stream, he's a big baseball fan, friend of the MLB The Show community, as he points out, not exactly an apples-to-apples comparison when you're talking about Devers and Vlad Jr. One is first base. The other, obviously, is third base. Speaking of first base, let's check in on the Red Sox first baseman, Tristan Casas, 79 overall. This kid, Miro, has got some big-time thunder in his bat. And he's still a young player, still putting it together. But you can see the potential is there for a very dangerous power hitter.
Yeah, man. And I mean, you know, the league recognizes it. Third in Rookie of the Year voting. So we know what the potential is, what the ceiling is for this guy. The upside is the sky's the limit, really. And I'm saying that as a hater.
Yeah. Now, Masataka Yoshida, I thought was a very interesting player last year. He is smallish in stature, but man, he's got power in his bat. He is at 80 overall. Look at his contact against lefties. Very good in that
Ichiro
left-on-left. What's that?
Ichiro vibes?
I think he's got more pop than Ichiro. He had 15 homers, 72 RBIs. He was part of that WBC title team winning squad in Japan. And I thought he acquitted himself very, very, very well in his first season with the Boston Red Sox.
100%. 100%. And I watched him with a hateful eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this guy's, he's got it. Although, listen, the Japanese guys, man, they come over here ready to go.
Yeah, I feel like the learning curve isn't as steep as it used to be as we start to see more and more the game of Major League Baseball becoming an international game. All right, so the top 5 for your Boston Red Sox look like this. Rafi Devers at the top at 87. That was a little bit of a controversial rating among the chat. Kenley Jansen and Chris Martin, bullpen arms for the Red Sox. They're at 83. Yoshida is at 80, along with Liam Hendriks, who they acquired this offseason. Now, Hendriks will not be available in 2024 as he's recovering from Tommy John surgery. All right, let's talk about the New York Yankees. How would you describe your Yankee fandom?
Die hard, almost nationalistic to an extent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we just coming off the Red Sox, you know what I mean? Now it's time to talk about a superior ball club.
Oh, now see, that's a little harsh. That's a little harsh, although for this year you might be right. Let's talk about Juan Soto, and this was arguably, you know, you set aside Shohei Ohtani's decision to join the Dodgers. I think this has a chance to be the most impactful move of the offseason. Juan Soto, the power against righties in the 90s. Clutch at the plate, 88. I can't wait to see what this guy does with that short porch. I think he could have an MVP season there.
100%. I already have him in the running for MVP. Like you said, the short porch. The guy's a hitter's hitter. He's bringing an energy that I feel like the Yankees have been lacking in previous seasons, where it's just like, there has to be a guy on your team that's fiery. You know what I mean? That has like passion and has like a little bit of sweat. The shuffle alone is worth 5 points. You know what I mean? To me, you know, ratings-wise. But that lineup now with him in there,
Judge, in front of Judge.
In front of Judge, Volpe. You know, let's see what Stanton does this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stanton's got a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. A very large, muscular shoulder. And, you know, we'll see what happens. But
it's not as muscular as we've seen. So we'll see how this makeover in his body, maybe that affects and brings him some quality outings and appearances for Giancarlo Stanton. Another offseason acquisition for the New York Yankees was Marcus Stroman. He's familiar with the area, familiar with the city. You look here, home runs per 9, it's 80. The sink, you know that this man throws a sinker. The strikeout numbers maybe not going to be there, but you know he's going to get the ground balls. And this is a guy that loves pitching on the big stage.
Oh, he loves it, and he's said so. Like, I've been watching ever since the signing. I'm so excited to come here. I want to be a Yankee. I'm ready for whatever. And that takes a lot of guts, bro, because, you know, it's a tough fan base, it's a tough media market, it's tough everything. So You got to go out there and do your thing. And I really think he has the stuff and the mentality to really have a breakout season with the Yankees.
Remember how good he was at the beginning. He was pitching at an all-star level for the Chicago Cubs, and then in that second half, he battled injuries, and that really affected his performance. Anthony Volpe stepped into very difficult positions and difficult shoes last year as a rookie, the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. As you look at the numbers here, the fielding is at 78, speed at 72. I think that might be a tad low, but overall, he's at 77. And, Miro, I think that you have to consider last year a success for Anthony Volpe. I can't wait to see what he does this year as an encore.
No doubt about it. Baseball, to me, is always like, it's different for them than other sports in that it's always a slow burn for the young guys.
Yeah.
You come in the game, you have to learn the game. It's much more than just like, hi, I could jump really high. You know what I mean? And Volpe's showing that. He came in poised.
Yeah.
Like you said, huge shoes to fill. Starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. We've heard the same name for the past, 88 years.
You're going to be measured by all the greats that came before you, most notably Derek Jeter. And he's a local kid. He grew up in the Northeast, in that greater New York, New Jersey area. So he knew what he was getting into, and I thought he acquitted himself very fine. So
very well.
Let's take a look at the top 5 for the New York Yankees, who are looking to win their first title since the iPad was invented back in 2009. It's been a minute, Miro. It's been a minute.
The iPad was invented.
I don't even think Uber was around. Seriously.
It wasn't.
Aaron Judge, as you might expect, the 99.
Come on.
Garrett Cole, Bebe, 95. Juan Soto, also in the 90s, right at 90. And then Clay Holmes and Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres, I think, in real-life baseball, it's going to be an interesting season for him. He's going into his walk year. He very much wants to stay and be a New York Yankee, but this is a big season for him.
A huge season. This is the make or break. This is what's going to decide whether or not he's in pinstripes next season.
True.
100%. Like, dude, you do your thing this year, you're good. You don't, you're in Minnesota. Sorry, buddy. You know what I mean?
Well, I think something that got lost last year in their season and their struggles was Gleyber Torres had a pretty good season. Pretty good season at the plate. The guy plays, he posts just about every day, and Gleyber Torres rounding out the top 5 for the very powerful New York Yankees.
Look at that report card.
All right, let's bring in Jared Schiff. He's the senior narrative game designer for MLB The Show. We're going to be talking about the captain. Now, Jared, as you know, one of the new storyline modes follows the career of Derek Jeter. What can fans, especially Yankee fans, expect as they step into the Hall of Fame shoes of the captain?
Hey, Robert. I would say fans can expect a super immersive experience that really pays tribute to Derek Jeter, his outstanding career and his connection to New York and Yankee fans. You get to take a trip or a subway ride, in this case, down memory lane as he sort of reflects on the moments that sort of defined his career as the captain and made him like one of the brightest stars in baseball during the late 90s, 2000s, and beyond.
Now, tell us more about some of those signature moments that fans can expect to experience there with the Derek Jeter mode.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen any of the marketing materials, the jump throw, you know that one's in there. We're really trying to highlight all of those memorable moments in his career. So starting off from the jump, like his first major league hit at the Kingdom, his first career walk-off against the Red Sox, being named All-Star MVP and World Series MVP in 2000. Pretty much everything else in there. Like, we've gone all out with the visuals. We're bringing new legends, giving a variety of gameplay to really kind of bring that storytelling to life and sort of give fans the opportunity, like you said, to kind of step up to the plate and see if they can deliver in those clutch moments like Jeter.
Yeah, and people should not sleep on the fact that the Kingdome is in the game this year. I love that addition as one of the stadiums that you can choose to play in. Derek Jeter himself was very involved in this process. How was it working with him directly, and how do you think it affected how the mode ended up coming out?
I mean, it was really fun. We got some really good stories in there for sure from him. And, you know, he's like super quick-witted and sharp and kind of gives you everything you want, like as an interviewer. He's a great storyteller. And I think just sort of having his point of view taking you through his career is something really unique for MLB The Show 24. And it's not something I've necessarily seen out there before, that you actually have that Hall of Famer taking you through those moments. So it feels like super unique. I think it's going to be really fun for the fans.
What's your favorite moment of these Jeter storylines?
There's one moment, 1996, I think fans are really going to enjoy playing. To give a hint, it's probably not one that Orioles fans are really going to enjoy. But there's some level of detail in there to that moment that makes it really, really unique. And I will say, give a shout out to Tony Tarasco for being a good sport with it.
Are you telling me Jeffrey Mayer's in the game, Jared? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying that we got that moment as close to it perfect as we could. I'll just leave it there.
All right, the UI looks different. What inspired it?
Yeah, I mean, storylines is a really special mode for MLB The Show. And we know sort of anytime that we're telling stories, each one of these stories has to have its own unique look that sort of sets it apart from everything else in storylines or everything else in the rest of the game in general. So, you know, I mentioned sort of paying tribute to New York early on and the fans. And early on in the process, we're like, what better way to kind of take you from memory to memory or moment to moment in the career of a New Yorker, the New York Yankee, that is, than to use that subway to sort of take you on that journey. So our UI UX team, they did an incredible job sort of creating an MLB The Show version of New York in the subway. And I think it's just another way, like I said, like to shout out the fans that would take the subway to the game to watch Jeter and keep him accountable, as he says in one of the videos.
Will there be more moments from Jeter's career added in the future?
Yeah, so at launch, we're kind of giving the users and fans a little bit more time to enjoy the content, make it not feel so rushed. So we're breaking it up like a little bit. So at launch, we'll take you through the beginning of his career, all the way up into the year 2000. And then we'll have a free update a few weeks later on that'll have the rest of his career. So starting in 2001 with the flip play and Mr. November walk-off and all the way up until that storybook ending Yankee Stadium final at bat in 2014.
I love that we're also getting Andy Pettitte and Bernie Williams, a couple of Derek Jeter teammates during those glory years of their run there in the Bronx. Now, Jared, are there exclusive rewards or items that fans can achieve and obtain while playing the Derek Jeter storyline mode?
Totally. I mean, you mentioned the Kingdom. I think that's super cool to have in the game. There's some equipment and there's a pair of all-star uniforms that look amazing, and you'll be able to earn those as well. And then we're thinking, like, how do we incorporate, like you mentioned, like Bernie Williams and Andy Pettitte and those legends that also helped make up Derek Jeter's career, because he definitely didn't do it all by himself. So in addition to kind of seeing those players in the lineup and on the field in the moments, you'll be able to earn a lot of those cards as well. The core four, so Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, those cards you'll be able to earn through little side missions, side quests that are out there as well. And you'll have like Paul O'Neill and a couple other legends along the way that are, I think it'll be really cool for the fans. And then when the second drop comes, we'll have even more new legends for them as well. I'm not going to spoil anything at that time. This time.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see what those legends are. And as anyone that watches my streams knows, I love me a good Jorge Posada card. So I continue to plug that dude right in my lineup. Jared Schiff, he's a senior narrative game designer for MLB The Show. Jared, great to catch up with you, my man.
Hey, good to see you again. We'll leave you with the one piece of advice that Bill Pito told me a long time ago. He said, prompter, you roll with me, I don't roll with you.
That's right. What Jared's referring to is Jared and I used to work together back with that other network. And Jared actually ran prompter for me during my early days there at ESPN. Jared, congratulations on all your success, man.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, no teleprompter for this stream. It's just all right up here and right here, and of course all the great content coming from you in the chat. All right, so let's now transition to the American League Central. A few seconds ago, someone in the chat asking, hey, did I miss the Guardians? No, the Guardians are coming up, but first we start with the Minnesota Twins. And here now are Edouard Julien and Kyle Farmer of the Twins having some fun trying to guess their numbers.
Speed overall, I'm going to give Eddie 82. Wow. Okay. No, that's not right. Clutch hitting. I think the playoff home run helped last year. I would say 93. Ooh. Contact against right-handed pitchers. Eddie's pretty good against right-handed pitching. I'm going to give him 89 contact rate against right-handed pitching. Wow, 93? That's elite.
He's good against lefties. 96.
Oh man,
come on.
Come on. What? That's where I make the money.
Edouard Julien is a really talented young player. He's French-Canadian, and he played collegiately at Auburn. So if you hear him talk, I think he has kind of a Southern / French-Canadian
Southern Canadian
accent. It's very, very unique. But let's talk more about the Minnesota Twins. And when you're talking about their rotation, Pablo Lopez, an 88 overall, I thought he took another step in his development and really ascended in 2023. His hits per 9 is at 76. The control on the fastball is at 91. He finished inside the top 10 in AL Cy Young voting. And Miro, when this dude is right, he is filthy and a problem to hit.
Yeah, man, he's a flamethrower, man. And like you said, the control on the fastball is nuts. Met him last year, and like you said, the step from 22 to 23. I think it's like I think 88 is a little low, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I think he might be. He's on the cusp of 90, just based on like the trajectory from 22 to 23 to now. It projects that he's going to take another step forward.
When you look at the numbers for the Minnesota Twins with Byron Buxton in the lineup as opposed to without, there's a huge difference. He is a difference maker, and in many ways, he is the key to the Minnesota Twins. And so Byron Buxton is at, we're going to check on him in just a second, but Royce Lewis is at 84 overall. That seems a little low to me. The power against righties is in the mid-80s. The batting clutch at the plate is in the low 80s. All this dude has hit grand slams. 5 of his 15 homers were grand slams. I have a feeling, if we haven't already, and maybe it escapes my memory, we're going to have some sort of moment where you got to hit a grand slam with Royce Lewis, because that's all he does, Miro.
That's what and talk about clutch situations. That is the clutchest of clutch situations to be in. That's the highest pressure. Bases are juiced. We need you to deliver. And the guy hits home runs.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a single knock one guy in. Everybody's coming home, and we're dumping Gatorade on the whole dugout.
He had 2 home runs in his first game of his postseason career, 4 in all. In the 6 games. He also had some pretty good success against the Astros in the division series. And as I mentioned, 5 of his 15 home runs were grand slams. To the back end of the bullpen, Johan Duran, 85 overall, and the velo almost at 102 miles per hour, 101.8. Whether it's live series, whether it's Diamond Dynasty or whatever, you know a Johan Duran card is going to be throwing fire and throwing smoke out of the bullpen. 3 and 6 overall, 2.45 ERA, but the ERA of 2.15 in 130 innings pitched in baseball. All right, so here's Byron Buxton. I was talking about how much he means to the Minnesota Twins. He's hoping to play in the outfield in 24 for the first time since August of 2022, so something to keep an eye on. He checks in at number 2 on this list. He's at 86. Carlos Correa and Royce Lewis are at 84. Where's my man Thuney? Is my man Thuney in the chat? I feel he could have some interesting things to say about his Minnesota Twins. Yeah. So this is a list of pitchers that are throwing at least 100 miles per hour. This is 6 pitchers. Johan Duran, almost 102 miles per hour. Aroldis Chapman still bringing it up there at almost 102 miles per hour. Wow. Ben Joyce of the Angels is on this list, along with the aforementioned Abner Uribe. He's a very electric arm in the back end of the Brewers bullpen. Jordan Hicks is transitioning as a starter, and Edwin Diaz is back for the Minnesota Twins. Rory, what more can you add to this list here, as we're obviously taking a look at guys that can really, really throw the baseball and throw it hard?
I'm surprised not to see Camilo up there.
That's true. Camilo Doval, was he flirting with this list as well?
Oh, yeah, he's right up there. I don't know. He must not have cracked 100, but he's like 99.999, you know. Duran, you were just mentioning him. You know, it's a cool thing. He has the fastball at 102 basically, and he then throws that splitter, which he calls the splinker, that goes at like 96 miles per hour. So what you'll notice with all these pitchers in game, they throw over 100 miles an hour. They have outlier on their player items. So when you're playing in franchise, road to the show, even in Diamond Dynasty, they're going to consistently be throwing at least 100 miles an hour, sometimes touching 102, maybe even 103. And Duran, as mentioned, on the splinker, the splitter in game has outlier on it. So it'll be going 95, 96. Jordan Hicks is one that I love to call out, moving to be a starting pitcher with San Francisco this year. Has a 5-pitch mix, and so with the outlier on his sinker is what he's got it on. He's going to be a ton of fun to use in Diamond Dynasty. He's going to be a ton of fun to use in franchise, and you can look to see him get a card early on in DD as a starting pitcher.
Hey, a question here in the chat, Rory, from Maiden Columbus. He's talking about Hunter Green, who, according to this comment, has the most 100-mile-per-hour throws in a game. And he adds, what are we even doing? Now, obviously, he didn't put a question mark in there because, well, you know. But what can you say about Hunter Green? And was this list just relievers? Is that why Green wasn't in the mix?
Well, this list is the way that we give the fastball velocity attribute is going off of their average velocity throughout the year. So Hunter Green's average, I think it was shown earlier, was around 98.3. So when you do use him in game, you can basically add, you know, probably 2 miles per hour to what the average is. So he will be throwing 100 when using him throughout franchise, using him in Diamond Dynasty all throughout the game.
All right, very good. Good to know. Good question there from the chat. All right, let's stay in the American League Central, and let's continue with the Detroit Tigers. Here's Jake Rogers trying to guess some of his ratings.
Power against lefties. 93. Okay. Overall rating. 79. That's pretty. I mean, hey, I bumped it up. They used to. Year before, don't check those. Don't check those ratings the year before.
All right, my man's bringing receipts.
Yeah, he's like, he's like last year.
Yeah. Let me make sure that you guys are right here. So Jake Rogers is a 77 overall, 21 homers, 49 RBIs for a Tigers team that really played very good baseball and better baseball towards the end of the season. Spencer Torkelson, a 76. I think this has a chance to be a number that rises. Yep. He started to figure it out at the plate as the season wore on. 31 homers, 94 RBIs, and to this point, an 851 OPS mirror over the final 83 games of 2023. I talked to him in spring training last year, and he acknowledged the pressure and the struggles that come with being a #1 overall pick, being a highly touted prospect. And I think that affected him, but good to see that maybe he's figuring it out.
Settling down. Yeah. It's like you said, the pressure. When you're new, when you're young, it feels like a mountain. Yeah. It feels like a gorilla's sitting on your chest. But once you get settled in, man, you're good, bruh. Look, trust me, because I know everything. You're good. You know what I mean? That 76 is going up to an 86 by the end of the season.
I'm going to be interested to see where the Tigers fit in this American League Central. I feel like that division is wide open. Kerry Carpenter really surprised some people with his performance at the plate last year. He's a 79 overall. He had an OPS plus of 121 over his first 149 games at the big league level. And just for reference, as everyone knows, 100 for OPS plus is considered average. So he was 121 OPS plus, the 20 homers, the 64 RBIs. And he's part of, like I was saying, an interesting young potential, foundation there for a franchise that is ascending.
That's baseball, baby. The young guys, you have an idea of what they're going to do. Over the course of the season, you see what they do, and then you're either pleasantly surprised or like,
Yeah. The Tigers, I believe, have already named Tarek Skubal their opening day starter. I believe that. Max, maybe if you could keep me honest on that. He's an 86 overall, walks per 9, is at 77. Miro, they've got, just like their lineup, they've got some very talented young players in their pitching staff and in their rotation. They just need them to perform, and Tarik Skubal looks like he's on that track.
He's definitely on that track. Like I said, young guys just need reps.
Yeah.
Once they settle in, they get their reps in, you know what I mean? A couple starts, this guy's going to be cooking.
Yeah, Casey Mize is expected to return from injury. Matt Manning, who is a 76 overall, he fits into that mix here as you take a look at your top-rated players. This is a beefy list here. This is 8 people here. Tarik Skubal is at the top. I'm going to be honest with you, as I'm looking at the names here, Riley Green is not on this list. I thought he had some very good moments last year. He got hurt, and that really affected the Tigers. Let's see if we can jump back in with Rory. Rory, how come Riley Green is not on this list? Can you shed a little more light on that?
Yeah, I think Riley Green's just falling off that list a little bit. I guess with him, the contact versus right is really great. I think versus left, he's fallen off. Like he's just not quite up to league average quite yet. His power numbers aren't exactly there. The home runs haven't fully come around for him, but he is hitting extra base hits. So I would imagine that's soon going to turn into more home runs for him, which will bump up his power numbers and, of course, increase overall there. And his defense is still a work in progress, I would say. So as he continues to improve there, you can imagine the overall is going to go up. But like you said, I mean, he's a top prospect. We fully expect him to have a great season this year as he's got more of his feet under him and likely will be moving up even, I would say, to the 80s at some point this season.
Yeah, and he just, to your point, just was off that list. He checks in at a 75 overall. All right, well, the Cleveland Guardians, someone in the chat was saying, hey, where's my Cleveland Guardians?
Let's go.
The Guardians are here, and here is Stephen Kwan of the Guardians talking about his rating.
I think around like an 81, but I'm ready for like a 78, 79. 73! Oh my gosh. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Stephen Kwan there. That feels like it's a little too low for me. This is the guy that, look, the defense out in left field is special. And he is obviously a contact hitter. Not going to give you a lot of home run, but he's not going to strike out, and he's going to put the ball in play. Right. Their best player, Miro, is
the heavyweight champion of the world.
Ramirez, that's right. He's a 90 overall. If you're a Diamond Dynasty player, and I know we got a whole bunch of you in the chat right now, you know how good just about any Jose Ramirez card is. And his live series card, of course, is no exception. 24 home runs, 80 RBIs. He stole 28 bags. And Miro, it's his 6th top 10 MVP finish in the last 7 years. He's often cited as maybe the one superstar that's talked about the least. I think that's changing a little bit.
It is.
People recognize just how special he is.
It finally is, man. All for 2 things. Obviously, the performance on the field, giving Tim Anderson CTE, you know what I mean? Like, the guy's out here, he's doing his thing. So I'm just saying.
You deserve a red card, sir. Right. Get the red card out, man. Good Lord.
Listen, but no, like you said, like the guy's been so consistent for so long, but quietly. And I think it's also, he's a smaller in stature. You know what I'm saying? He's not like an Aaron Judge intimidating big guy. So I think that might have something to do with it. Chad, tell me if I'm wrong.
Now, we did have a board, a graphic with pitchers that are routinely living in the 100s. This man was not on it. But he can touch triple digits when he's feeling right. Emmanuel Clase, an 87 overall. The cutter. This dude is throwing a cutter in excess of 99 miles per hour. He is sawing off bats.
What are we doing?
He is. I don't know how you hit him when he's right. He has led all of Major League Baseball in saves, Miro, with 86 in each of his last 2 seasons. It is closing time when this man steps in.
Closing time. His name is Clase. That means class in Spanish. He's taking you to school after the 8th inning, B. So wrap it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once the starter goes back, once that middle reliever goes back in the bullpen and he comes out, game over.
One of the other young pitchers that we need to talk about for the Cleveland Guardians, and this is the franchise that knows how to develop young pitching, and that's Tristan McKenzie. Sticks is at 80 overall. His curveball control is at 78. The hits per 9 is at 76. He had to battle through some shoulder and elbow injuries last year and pitched just 16 innings, So he's obviously hoping for much more in 2024. Your top 5 looks like this. Rightly so, Jose Ramirez is at the top at 90. Josh Naylor, don't sleep on him. He is at 82. Tanner Bybee and Shane Bieber with matching 81s.
That's some guys.
Chicago White Sox, Miro, are a team and a franchise in transition in many ways. It's almost a question of not who's here, but who's going to be traded, right? Dylan Cease has been the subject of a lot of trade conversation. But Luis Robert is a dude that I imagine is probably untouchable.
They're gonna keep him
because moving forward, this is a cornerstone piece and a 100%. Very talented player. He is at 89 overall. La Pantera has a contact of 92 against lefties. The power is also in the 90s. Had a 264 average last year, 38 homers. He won his first Silver Slugger Award, and this guy can do it all, man.
He can do it all, and he's, again, like, back to the Jose bit, this guy steps in the box, and he's intimidating. He's a big, they don't call him La Pantera for nothing, because he really steps in looking like Black Panther.
And I think... And I think he wears during the game. I think he has like a Panther medallion, or hanging from his change. So he's serious about it. Eloy Jimenez is at 73, wearing those great old Chicago White Sox throwbacks. His contact against lefties nearly 80, and then the contact against righty is just below that at 76. He has a career OPS of 811 in 5 MLB seasons. And when you look at the talent, just big picture, when you look at the talent that the White Sox have had on their roster, you wonder how come they haven't won more, how come it hasn't worked, but for whatever reason, it hasn't. But Eloy Jimenez has the potential. He can carry a team for 100%. A week or two.
And like we were talking about before, he's one of those guys, even if you're a casual baseball fan, that name rings a bell. You know what I mean? Like, Eloy Jimenez. Oh, I know that guy. I might not know where he plays, but I know he's a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And franchises need a handful of guys.
Well, that's why the next player we're talking about has been so highly sought after, and that is...
Ooh, the chat with a spicy take.
Yes, Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease.
Jamal 206, La Russa held them back.
Oh, okay. All right. Spicy take there. Okay. Strikeouts per 9 for Dylan Cease is at 76, and that knuckle curve break is at 97. Now, he had an ERA of 4.58 last year. In 2022, however, he was a Cy Young runner-up with an ERA of 2.2. And when you're looking, I mean, this doesn't affect the game, MLB The Show 24. It's just, but in real baseball terms, where is he going to play? Who's he going to finish the season with?
Right.
I think that's the big question for me.
And it could be anywhere. Like, and that's the thing. It's like everybody, when you're a hot commodity, and you don't, like, everybody wants you don't know where you're going to land. I know that's got to mess with you. You know what I mean? Like, while you're here doing what you're supposed to do, you're thinking about, all right, bro, like, I might have to empty my locker in a week. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, there's 2 teams that I could think of that could use him right away, and that's the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. But we shall see. So just to recap, your top-rated players for the White Sox look like this. Lou Bob is at the top. Dylan Cease behind him. Eloy Jimenez is at 73. Garrett Crochet, the lefty out of the bullpen, is part of that list at 72, along with Yoan Moncada. Muy guapo. Muy guapo. All right, Kansas City Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals, talking about his ratings.
Let's go speed. 9, very aggressive. Maybe sometimes too aggressive. I'll go 98, and then go with 91.
Pull out the paper and see it here.
Very close. Very good. Awesome.
I think this is fair. Bobby Witt Jr., one of the faces of the game, the face of the Kansas City Royals. He's at 92 overall. The speed, obviously, is at 99. And his clutch ability at the plate, don't sleep on that. He is at 85. He became the first player, Miro, in Royals team history to have a 30-homer, 40 stolen base season last year. And I think there's more in the tank.
100%. Like, listen, when you break a franchise record from a franchise that's not a new franchise, You know what I mean? That means that there's a lot of upside there, man. And he's got to show improve, and I think he will show improve.
Right, and the Royals are a franchise that historically have been built on speed and defense. So if you're able to reign supreme in that stolen base category for the Kansas City Royals, you know you're doing something very good. Cole Reagans, the lefty starter for the Kansas City Royals, just cracks the just inside the 80 mark with an 80 overall. The curveball break is at 88. He came over in a trade, remember, with the Texas Rangers, where the Royals sent Aroldis Chapman, and the Rangers traded away this young fella. And since coming to Kansas City, you could argue he's been a different pitcher. He had an ERA of 3.47 in just 96 innings, but when he went to Kansas City, in 72 and 2/3 innings for the Royals, his ERA dropped to 2.64. So this could be a trade that didn't quite work out. I mean, you can't say it didn't work out. They ultimately won a World Series with the help of Aroldis Chapman. Of course. But Cole Reagans looks like he could be a dude for the Royals.
It's a push. You know what I mean? Like as they say. But man, like with Cole, the change of scenery, I think could do a lot. And I think that's what happened here, man. Like you said,
different coaching philosophy, different message. It just resonates
different clubhouse, different teammates,
so,
everything.
The Kansas City Royals continuing to hope for big things from Cole Reagans. Now, Will Smith,
one of my favorite actors.
Apparently, you can crown the Kansas City Royals the 2024 World Series champions because whatever team Will Smith is on, they win the World Series. With the Braves in 21, with the Astros in 2022, with the Rangers in 2023, and now, of course, he's with the Kansas City Royals. A 77 overall. He did have 22 saves with the Texas Rangers last year in just 57 1/3 innings with the Texas Rangers. So let's take a look at the Kansas City Royals and their top players for their live series rankings and ratings going into the 24 campaign. As you might expect, Bobby Witt Jr. is the top of the list at 92. Seth Lugo checking in at 79. Hunter Renfroe, Freddie Fermin, and a host of others at 77. Let's say hello to Stephen Haas. He's the live content product manager for MLB The Show. Stephen, there's a new season length for Diamond Dynasty this year. How long will it be, and why the change?
Yeah, it's great to be back with you, Roflo, and hello, everyone out there. You know, Diamond Dynasty, we're ready to get it going again for launch, and there are some big changes that we broke down on a developer blog on theshow.com, so check that out. But the biggest change for sure is a 12-week season is coming in for seasonal Diamond Dynasty. Now, Roflo, that means our teams, we're going to have a long time to build better and better lineups, and then you and I can go head-to-head or play the CPU.
All right. Now another big change to Diamond Dynasty is the amount of high-tier 99s. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is a big change from 23. So the fans that played, like you and I from last year, are going to see a noticeable difference. I think we're going to feel like this is more back to 22 or even 21 because our lineups are going to be full of silvers, golds, and some low diamonds, especially at start. And there will be a few 99s at launch, but they're going to be in really hard-to-reach places. For instance, you got collections. Well, those are going to take high-value items to go finish. And of course, the XP reward path is just going to take time. So we are going to have some great rewards for all of us to help build better and better squads, but you're not going to see those right at launch.
All right, and we're going to be implementing my favorite card, the credit card, to complete some of those collections. So if that's something that you decide to do. Now, Stephen, wild card slots, they're returning, but they've got a twist. Tell us about what's changing there.
Yeah, wild card slots. This is a really cool feature of Diamond Dynasty where you're getting a choice of who do you want to bring from one season to the next. Now, remember, we got seasonal cards. So season 1, you're playing with season 1 cards. But come season 2, that's where the wild card slots are going to get interesting. You're going to have a choice to make of if you unlock a wild card slot, who do you bring over from all these cards you're earning in season 1, especially for that ranked play. Now, you might see up to 4 slots unlocked. That's a big change from 23 where we had 1.
Yeah.
I'm not promising you're going to see that in season 2, but again, as the year progresses, we can see that, and you're going to unlock them and kind of decide how many players can you bring over from those past seasons.
Now, Stephen, tell us more about how fans will have more chances to get cards of players from their favorite teams this season.
Yeah, so let's talk about our favorite team. So we got the Astros, Marlins, right? Team affinity programs is where we want to start. All 30 clubs get a player. So flashbacks, legends. I'm going to do a little reveal here for you. I know we've done this in the past, Robert. So here we go. Astros, Team Affinity, Chapter 1. You're going to get Carlos Correa. Nice flashback there for shortstop. The Marlins, what's up, 305? We've got Giancarlo Stanton to lock down that right or corner outfield position. So those are 2 reveals here for Team Affinity. But again, every fan base is going to have something to play for. And in this new seasonal Diamond Dynasty, you're going to see Team Affinity drop every 4 weeks. That's more than ever before. So we're going to have 3 Diamond Dynasty Team Affinity programs drop in every season. So you're going to have better and better cards. That's the best part about Team Affinity too. We might start off in those low diamonds, and we're going to keep climbing and climbing. So the Astros, Marlins theme teams, they'll get better along with all the other fans.
Oh, I like those 2 right off the top, Carlos Correa and Giancarlo Stanton. Now, this was a topic of conversation throughout the life of the game last year. Will there be day 199s?
Yeah, I mean, day 199s, probably you're not going to see more than maybe one running around in ranked play. And it's all the reasons we said earlier, right? They're going to be in hard to reach places, XP reward path, and collections. You can go get that done. Robert, you might be one of those with that 99 in your lineup for the live series collection.
Now, what are some of your favorite new cards that are being added to Diamond Dynasty this year?
Right. Our Diamond Dynasty fans know we have a killer live art card team, and they have done it once again. In the show.com blog, you saw the Hyper series get revealed. Vlad Jr. is going to have a special collection right at launch. I love that card art. But also, in the pre-order editions of the Collector's Edition and the Digital Deluxe, we have a pack called the Barrier Breakers. Now, personally, I'm going to have a really hard time choosing who to take here because there's 2 really great players in there. Josh Gibson, one of the best hitters of all time for the Negro Leagues, and the first woman in MLB The Show history, Tony Stone, is also in that pack. I love that Barrier Breakers pack. And for any Yankees fans, we got Derek Jeter storylines. You're going to see some great legends from the Yankees in there. So you have so many choices of where do you want to start? What's the best card art in the game? Let the debates begin.
Now, tell us about what programs and missions are going to be available at launch. You touched on it a little bit, but tell us more. And what can we expect to be added throughout the season?
Yeah, so we've touched on Team Affinity. 30 players, all 30 clubs get represented. Go chase your favorite player, your favorite program. We got collections we talked about. Of course, Ranked is back. Battle Royale, events, they all have programs with their own rewards. But I'd like to start with the starter program. It's really easy. You get some packs, get some flashbacks, get some legends. I can hint at a few things coming up. Broflo, you want to hear about some of that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So MLB's got something called the Spring Breakout Tournament. It's coming up.
Yep.
And we're gonna have something special in Diamond Dynasty for that. Also, Padres Dodgers, they kick off the regular season overseas, Soul Series. We're gonna have something special for that in Diamond Dynasty. And opening day, our fans have come to know we have a tradition around here to do some supercharging where we bump up those attributes of these player ratings, and we're gonna bring that back. So there you go. You got Spring Breakout Tournament, the Soul Series, and opening day supercharge. That's all coming right after we launch. It's going to be a fun early access weekend right into opening day.
I tell you what, the supercharged idea, I think it's one of the best that you guys have come up with in recent memory. I just love being able to add like that extra 99 to my Battle Royale team or maybe my live series team or something like that. All right, we'll get you out here on this one. I saw the blog post and fans have been reading it. They're going to get tons of free rewards. Tell us about the free rewards that players can expect in Diamond Dynasty this season.
Free weekly packs. Do I need to say more? I'll give you a little more. So the show packs are going to help you build your live series collections and, of course, some of those core lineup. So you're going to see show packs. You're going to see some flashbacks, maybe some theme players, and, of course, legends as well. So they're going to rotate in and out of the show shop every week. Another reason to log into MLB The Show 24. It's going to help our lineups out too, Roflo.
All right, well, if anyone has, I can't imagine that anyone has worse pack luck than I do, so I'm sure that they will reap the rewards. But, Steven, can't wait to play it, man. Congratulations. Good luck with the launch, and we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, we'll see you on the sticks. Thanks, Roflo. Thanks, MLB Network. We'll see you in DD.
All right, now someone in the chat, Miro, was asking, what about the world champions? All right, the Texas Rangers, where are they? Don't worry. They're coming up. But first, here is America's team, the Houston Astros. Here's some of the Astros talking. Where are you going? Here's some of the Astros trying to guess Kyle Tucker's rating. Check this out.
Should be at least a 97.
Say like 85. I don't know. Sometimes the those ratings be skewed a little bit.
Kyle Tucker's rating in MLB The Show should be a 96, 97. What is it? 92? Nah, it needs to be higher.
Yeah, 92. I think that's fair for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
He's one of the best right fielders in the game. He's a guy that can challenge for an MVP. He nearly had a 30-30 season. So I know the Astros continue to be a polarizing team, but Kyle Tucker
Just a little bit.
A little bit, but Kyle Tucker is definitely one of the best players in the game. Led the American League with 112 RBIs last year in 2023. What about Jose Altuve? Just signed an extension with the Houston Astros, so he's going to retire as an Astro, and he is at a very healthy 93 overall. 17 homers, and had it hit 311 at the plate. Played just 90 games. Remember, Miro, he got injured in the World Baseball Classic. But he's a lifetime 307 career hitter. And when his career is all said and done, haters, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
You know, you may not like it, but like Ric Flair used to say, you better learn to love it.
You better learn to love it. And I can't wait to see like the special podium that they bring out for him.
Now, see, that's not right. That's not right. You and I are going to have a very serious talk offline. Hey, speaking of haters, what about Josh Hader, who they just signed in free agency this last offseason? 85 overall, strikeout and hits per 9 are at 99. Miro, he's one of the elite closers, if not the elite closer in all of baseball, a 5-time All-Star. And you pair him with Ryan Presley and Brian Abreu.
Listen.
That is a dynamic trio at the back end of a bullpen.
This is a team full of, I keep saying the word guys. Y'all know what I mean when I say guys, Chuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. This is a team full of guys. You know what I mean? Listen, all right. Lay it on me.
Well, here's another guy, Yordan Alvarez. He's had some big tanks against just about everyone. He's a 96 overall. All right, so the power numbers against lefties is at 90. The power against righties is at a near 100. He's also at 99. I tell you what, I mean, just about any Yordan Alvarez card is a whole lot of fun to use in this game. Even the live series card, it can mash when put in certain situations. So he's maybe the most feared lefty hitter in all of baseball. I would put Juan Soto in that mix.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say,
yeah. So he's looking forward to having another fantastic season for the Astros. Your top 5 rated players for the Astros look like this. Alvarez is at 96, followed by Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez, who could get the opening day start with Justin Verlander expected to begin the season on the injured list. Verlander, the ageless wonder, is at 40. So I want to circle back to something we showed earlier in the stream. Actually, this is a new one here. Top 5 players that have contact with at least 92 contact against lefties and righties. All right, so Yordan Alvarez is on this list. His contact against lefties is at 97, and the contact against righties is at 92, so almost a little bit of a reverse split. His teammate Jose Altuve is on there. Roy, we had a question earlier in the stream about Yordan Alvarez. He was absent on an earlier list that we showed, but he's on this one. What more can you add to that?
Yeah, I mean, Yordan Alvarez, one of the best hitters in all of baseball. I would say best left-handed hitter in baseball. Looking at the last 3 years, he has a 163 WRC plus accumulated in that time, only behind Aaron Judge, the best hitter in baseball, arguably. But as our Yankee fans love, it's Judge. But Yordan, absolutely insane. What's great about the players on that list, when you use them in-game, that contact PCI that you'll be seeing if you're on zone hitting, it's massive. And when you go up on higher difficulties, you know, that usually will be shrunk. But when you can use these players, it's going to stay big. You're going to be able to hit the ball a lot easier than anybody with low contact ratings.
Hey, Roy, real quick, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but where are you on, and what's your preference as far, you were mentioning PCI. You guys introduced the BAT PCI last year. Where are you on those two different PCIs? And is there a difference, or is it all purely based on preference, skill, things like that?
Yeah, for me personally, I kind of go back to like the MLB 19 look where it's just, one side or bars on two sides, nothing in the middle. I don't use the bat. I have heard that using the bat gives you a little extra pop,
Okay.
but that might just be hearsay. I don't think there's any validity to it. But for me personally, I go bright red on the outer areas. If you'll watch the Dev tourney next week, you'll be seeing me play. You'll be able to see what my PCI looks like. It's bright red. You can't miss it.
All right. Well, by the way, Miro, there's not a better sound in all of video games than that perfect. When you hit that perfect, that rings through your headphones or through your speakers. It's beautiful. All right, Rory, more from you in just a little bit. We had someone in the chat asking about, hey, where's all the Road to the Show stuff and franchise? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because you can tune into the feature premiere at 6 p.m. Eastern, so that's coming up very soon, right here on Twitch, 3 p.m. Pacific, over on the San Diego studio channels as they talk about updates to franchise, Road to the Show, and the overall gameplay presentation. So if you're wondering about that, there you go. Another dynamic team, another team that has playoff aspirations in that American League West. Here's Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
Probably like, I think I was like an 80 last year, so probably like a 83 this year, 84. That's pretty good. I don't know if there was much improvement, but maybe there was a little, maybe more consistency. Once you do it twice, then maybe get a few extra points, I guess. 88. Oh, it's pretty big time right there. I bet my speed's not very high though, so.
They didn't give us that.
No, they didn't give me speed. Shocker.
Give you speed.
Well, we've got the speed number, and it's in the 50s, Cal. But that's okay, man. They don't need you to steal bases. They just need you to be behind the plate, be a dude, and mash with the bat in your hand. And that's what he does. He's a switch hitter. Power against righties is at 94. Yep. The fielding is at 81. I think the Seattle Mariners, look, they didn't make the playoffs last year. But they're a team that can challenge in this division, no doubt.
They're poised, man. You got J-Rod, you got Luis Castillo out there, de lo medio personal, you know what I'm saying? Kirby, that rotation is nasty. Like, yeah, they're gonna do something.
Have you spent time with J-Rod?
Very briefly, you know what I'm saying? I give him a big hug.
I love his demeanor.
Oh, yeah.
I love his willingness to be a face of the franchise
100%.
Type player. And he's extremely talented, man, as evidenced by his 93 overall. The contact against lefties is in the mid-90s, and then his speed also is at 92. He joined A-Rod as the only players in team history with 30 seasons. And I said it earlier about someone else. I think there's more in the tank
100%
with J-Rod.
He's built for it, man. And the A-Rod comp, I'll give it to him. Because the guy, he has wheels, he can hit, he fields. Bro, I remember the World Baseball Classic. He had like a diving catch that saved like an extra base hit. Yeah. And I was like, with my flag jumping up and down. The guys, he's here for the long haul. He's going to be one of the faces of not only the Seattle Mariners, of baseball. Period.
You referenced Luis Castillo, and he is the top of that rotation.
La Piedra.
Yes. The hands of stone. 88 overall. Hits per 9 is at 81. The control on the four-seam fastball is at 85. He finished 5th in the Cy Young voting last year. He's got a K per 9 of 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. He did that in 197 innings in 2023. You guys, I saw you guys took a trip in the Space Needle.
That's my guy. Right? That's my guy now. Like, we hung out. Like, after the Space Needle, listen, Dominicans get together and we automatically become cousins after 20 minutes. Because after 20 minutes, I ditched my driver and we're just driving around in his car. Like, yo, let's go to the park. Let's go.
How does he like Seattle? Did he say he likes it?
He loves it. Yeah. He's like, yo, it's hard to find Platanos out here, but listen. The city's great. The fan base is great, and leaving Cincinnati, I want everybody to be on the Yankees. Yeah. Obviously, let's go. That's my team. But he fits perfectly there in Seattle, man. Like he's was the perfect addition. That rotation, like I said, is nasty. These guys are they're gonna do something.
Yeah, I mean, because you got Luis Castillo, and then of course you've got George Kirby. He's dynamic in that rotation. As you take a look at the top 5 rated players for the Mariners, Andres Munoz at the back end of their bullpen, he checks in with an 84 overall along with his catcher, Cal Raleigh. Ooh. All right, the Oakland A's are a franchise that's in transition. There's some question about where they're going to be playing in the foreseeable future, the stadium situation in Las Vegas, and they're a franchise that is rebuilding, reimagining, however you want to term it. But they do have some talented players, including Brent Rooker, who's a 78 overall. He was an all-star last year, named to his first career Midsummer Classic a year ago. 30-homer season, 69 RBI, had an OPS of 817. Of course, playing his home games in the Oakland Coliseum, not exactly a hitter's park. No. So whether you do it for the Oakland A's or the Los Angeles Dodgers, if you're hitting 30 homers in the show, that's something.
That's something. You know what I mean? Like, it's not easy to do. No. Not in this era, you know what I mean? But again, like you said, the A's are like reimagining is
fair way. That's the way you want to term it.
Yeah, that's a very nice way to put it. But listen, like you said, Oakland Coliseum, not really a hitter's park. This guy's hitting 30 joints a year there. You know what I mean? Like, come on. And wherever you put him, he's gonna go off.
And here is another promising young player in their lineup, and that is the infielder Zach Geloff. Rated a 78 overall. Woo. Contact is pretty high in the high 70s against righties. The speed is at 82. He had 35 extra base hits, 32 RBIs, an OPS of 840 in 69 Major League games in 2023, which is nice. Shea Langoliers, their catcher. He's at 74 overall, acquired as part of that. I think he was part of the Matt Olson deal with the Atlanta Braves. Power against righties is at 75. His arm strength behind the plate is at 95. I like this young player, and the Braves, I know, didn't want to give him up in order to get Matt Olson. But, again, we were talking earlier about some of these other teams. You can kind of, with players like this, you can start to imagine, hey, if this happens and if we continue to trend in the right direction, maybe we can turn this around. And Shea Langoliers has the potential to be part of a promising young core.
And like you said, like the arm strength is there behind the plate, which is, I feel like it's a lost art. It's throwing guys out. You know what I mean? Like we got a lot of 40 base, 40, 30 bag, 40 bag guys. Let's throw some of these guys out. Let's bring back the Yadier Pudge era of like just.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pudge was definitely a dude you do not want to run on.
No way.
When he was behind the plate. So your top 5 rated players for the Oakland A's. Brent Rooker is at the top, along with Zach Geloff at 78. Paul Blackburn and Alex Wood, always up to no good, is at 77. And Zach Jackson rounding out the list at 76.
Zach Jack.
All right, let's check in with a pair of Angels, starting with infielder Luis Rengifo.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us.
I would say like 87, 89. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I like it. 95, 97. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Let's go somewhere in the low 90s, maybe 93. Okay, hey, that's respect. They know once I get going, I'm rolling. Okay. Ooh, that's got to be mid. That's got to be 95. We could do better on that. Hey, the show 24. Let's go, baby.
All right. Luis Rengifo was pleasantly surprised with his.
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But by the way, the dude is jacked. He is he's one of those guys that looks really good in uniform. So.
Look, he's one of those guys that made me go ask my doctor for Manjaro.
Yeah. So he might want to play shirtless. He looks so good. Brandon Drury, as we continue with the Angels, he's at 83 overall, had an OPS of 803, and he's had back-to-back seasons of at least 25 home run. My fellow Diamond Dynasty players will tell you how effective a Brandon Drury card can be, whether it's Battle Royale or ranked or events. And then Taylor, don't forget about Taylor Ward. Yep. He was ranked 79 overall, 14 homers, 756 OPS. Listen, the big story overall, externally for the Angels is they obviously don't have Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
So where do they go from here, right?
I almost wanted to ask you that. I'm like, what is obviously Mike Trout is there forever.
Yeah.
What is the direction of this team?
I think that's the fascinating part about this franchise. I think they have to figure it out themselves. They have some interesting young pieces. Taylor Ward, as I said, 79 overall. But I think the Angels have a chance to surprise some people. Do I think that they're going to make the playoffs? That might be too deep a water. But I think under new manager Ron Washington, I think they're going to surprise some people. Taylor Ward, 14 homers, had an 896 OPS. against lefties in 2023. Now, another interesting young player that has a chance to be a part of, building something special there in Anaheim, Logan O'Hoppe, who they acquired from the Philadelphia Phillies. 76 overall. He did have to deal with the shoulder injury, and it was a pretty significant one, but he had 14 homers, 29 RBIs. He had a 500 slug in 51 games in 2023. And look, you know the old adage, you want to be strong up the middle, right? So you got Logan O'Hoppe behind the plate. You've got Zach Neto as your shortstop. And then Mike Trout is still playing center field, or maybe it's Mickey Moniak. So I'm not quite sure what to expect from the Angels. Other than that, I think they might be better than what people are giving them credit for.
I think so, too. I think it's going to be boom or bust for them. You know what I mean? I feel like. And I do think it's going to be more boom than bust, but not like you said, not boom playoffs, but boom, we're going to be over 500.
The thing with the Angels, an Angel fan and other fans out there, it's all about the pitching. They haven't really been able to get that frontline starter. All right, so your top-rated players for the Angels, of course, it's Mike Trout.
Come on.
And that's going to be the highest priced live series card off the jump. That's my guess, although Ohtani could be in there. In 2 years, I have not pulled a live series Mike Trout. Wow. That is how bad my pack luck is. Wow. And I don't want to hear about this streamer pack luck because I'm streaming a lot. Twitch.tv/RealRoflo, and I've yet to pull Mike Trout.
I'm telling you, I'm watching.
All right? Patrick Sandoval and Reed Detmers round out the list. All right, let's talk Road to the Show with Justin Rowe, Associate Systems Game Designer for MLB The Show. Justin, Road to the Show mode, it's back, and it includes the Draft Combine. What kind of activities will players be able to take part in and at the Combine at MLB The Show?
Yeah, no, we were super pumped to get the Combine in the game this year. We were fortunate enough to go the last couple of years and kind of take note and see what everyone's doing. So the activities this year, we're going to have a 4-day event, just like they do in real life. And that first day is going to be the showcase day. Showcase your talents, infield, outfield, BP, all that good stuff. And then we go right into games for days 2, 3, and 4. So like I said, we're super pumped for that, and we're excited to get in the game.
I know players can't wait to be able to experience that. Now, will players be evaluated by team executives as they're taking part in the Draft Combine?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to make it as realistic as possible. Your draft position will fluctuate as you go throughout the showcase and the games. If you're doing good, you play good, you get drafted higher. If not, you know the consequences.
Now, what about the performance at the Combine itself? How could that impact the draft position?
Yeah, so we have a grading scale, obviously, and you'll see that on screen, which is good for our users. You'll see how you're doing. It's an A, B, C type scale. And as you take BP, you go up, hit some line drives, put the ball in the gap, put the ball out of the ballpark, your grade's going to go up. And same with the defense. If you're making errors, your grade's going to go down. But if you're making the plays, doing things right, your grade will go up as well.
Now, anything else fans can expect from Road to the Show this year?
Yeah, obviously we just showed our females in Road to the Show, and it's a huge get for us this year. We were super pumped, a lot of hard work from a lot of teams. We're very excited to get that. I don't want to tell you everything, but there's a lot of fun things that you'll find if you play this mode.
Now, we also hear, Justin, that the impact you can make on defense has been increased in MLB The Show 24. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's something that we've been trying to get into the game for the last couple of years now. I think we did it pretty well this year, and obviously we're going to continue to improve on that moving forward. But like we showed in the Jeter story premiere, we're going to have a nice little QTE that you can do, and if you fail, you might make an error. It's just all a part about getting defense more involved in the game. You saw that on the DD side last year with the moving meter. Now we're incorporating certain things in Road to the Show that we're super excited for.
Now, what about what are you guys excited about narrative-wise in Road to the Show, in MLB The Show 24?
Yeah, we have a completely new enhanced narrative for both male and female. And we're super pumped. We got some new people this year that were super excited to work on it, and they just knocked it out of the ballpark. There's certain things that will happen in each one that won't happen for the other one, which is a fun thing, and it's something that we will only continue to grow and move forward with and expand on.
Well, I know myself and many of our My MLB Network colleagues were pleased to be part of the Road to the Show storytelling this year. So we can't wait to see how it all plays out in MLB The Show 24. Justin, we appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruff. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, now remember, coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific, at the San Diego Studios channels on Twitch, they've got a feature premiere coming up today. They're going to have more updates on the updates to franchise, Road to the Show, and gameplay presentation. So that's coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern on Twitch. So be sure to check that out. All right. Last but certainly not least, your reigning and defending World Series champion, the Texas Rangers, starting with Marcus Semien.
So this is a new ranking, right? Mm-hmm. Ooh, I hope I'm in the 90s. I'll probably say 95. Ooh, okay, I got some work to do. It's all right.
They better put 100%. Okay, 99. Okay, 99. Thank you. Man, I think gotta be 95. Ah, okay, that was close. I'm going for that 99 this year. Yeah. 100%.
All I want to know is I want to see a push-up contest between my man Justin Rowe, who was, and Adolis Garcia. Both of those guys are getting the supersets in, right?
They're doing the diamond
push-ups, yes.
The clap in between.
I love this guy playing. I love with the passion that he plays with. I love the edge. He's a 93 overall. He was money in the postseason. An Astros killer, man. They still can't figure out how to get this dude out. It don't feel great. Don't feel great. But I love watching him play. And as we referenced, this dude is jacked.
He's jacked, and he hits the ball like he hates it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't at the Derby. He did the Derby in cowboy boots, and he was hitting the cover off the ball, bro. It was nuts to watch.
How about this? That the St. Louis Cardinals had both Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena at one time. I mean, but why bring up old stuff?
Hey,
I know.
I
know. Marcus Semien, who you heard guess, he thought he should be a little bit higher, but this is still a very good score of 90 overall. Miro, he led the league in runs scored and hits last year, and of course, he finished in the top 3 in MVP voting, the 3rd time in the last 5 seasons.
That says everything you need to know about the guy, man. If you finish in the top 3 in the MVP voting, 3 seasons in a row, you're a guy, a capital G guy.
Yeah. And what he and Corey Seager have provided up the middle for that Rangers lineup. I mean, they spent so much money on those two guys in the same offseason, but they immediately cash in and prove their worth, helping the Texas Rangers to their first ever World Series championship. Hit him with a Heim! Ooh. Jonah Heim.
Heimlich.
83 overall. That seems a bit low for me. An 80 overall behind the plate. Contact against lefties is at 85. Obviously a switch hitter. Everyone loves a good switch hitting catcher. For Jonah Heim, he had 18 homers. He was a first-time All-Star and Gold Glove winner in 2023. There was at times last year he got injured, and I thought he was done for the season. But to his credit and to the training staff credit, he was able to return and was a big reason why the Rangers were holding up the big trophy.
What's his durability number? Because clearly it should be high.
Yeah, I mean, he battled a wrist injury, but he was able to come back. So take a look here at the top 5 rated players.
Okay.
Corey Seager just below that coveted 99, but he's at 98 overall. Garcia is at 93. Jacob deGrom, who we will see at some point this season. They're thinking around the All-Star break. He's at 92 overall.
All right.
But he, of course, is recovering from Tommy John surgery last year, but he is at 92 overall. All right, let's get in one last check-in with Rory, our ratings guru here. Rory, just some final thoughts on, I don't know, let's start with Marcus Semien. He thought he should have been a little bit higher, but he checks in, I think he was at 90 overall. What went into his rating?
Yeah, I mean, Semien had a great season overall. I think the first month or so might have been a little bit slow, so brought down his overall numbers on the year. But there's definitely nothing to scoff at with a 90 overall rating. He's an all-around great player, can hit for contact, hit for power. His defense is very solid. speed, stealing, all of it's great. So, you know, it all adds up to being a 90 overall, but that's definitely nothing to be mad about. But I won't be surprised if he goes off, maybe hits 40 bombs this year. We see him at that 95 overall.
Hey, the chat was asking earlier about Mike Trout. He, of course, is 99, and some in the chat were thinking maybe that's a little too high. What say you?
You know, I didn't think there would be issues with Mike Trout being a 99 overall, but
oh, come on, Rory. You know people complain about everything.
Hey, come on,
man. Come on.
You've been doing this, Rory.
Hall of Famer, slam dunk. I mean, might be unanimous once he's on the ballot. The last 3 years, if you look at the numbers when he plays, 163 WRC plus, which is insanely elite. Sure, in 2023, numbers weren't Mike Trout level, you know, they were still extremely solid, way above average. And when we're looking at that 3-year average, when Mike Trout's on the field, he makes the Angels a much better team. In my opinion, you know, he still is a 99 overall. And this year, we'll see. I believe he's going to bounce back and have a Mike Trout-esque year the way that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, Boone's Burner says the Trout disrespect is crazy. It's unreal. I tend to agree with you. And lastly, Rory, we'll get you out of here on this one. What would you rate this show?
99 for sure,
Oh,
Roflo.
for sure.
Of course.
Yeah. With the with the timing and chemistry boost, of course, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I could go to 125, I absolutely would.
There you go. All right. Well, Rory, we appreciate you chatting with us, man. This was a lot of fun. And good luck on the game launch. And I can't wait to play it. Congratulations. And can't wait to unwrap and get going on MLB The Show 24.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to give a big shout out to the roster team. I mean, it's a lot of hands that went into this.
Yes.
Lots of hard work went into it. And we're super proud of what we're putting out this year. And I couldn't be more proud of the team and everything we've done. And I really appreciate being on here with you guys.
Well, thank you very much. And to everyone there at the Sony San Diego studio, congratulations. Thanks for all your hard work. And as we're all looking forward to MLB The Show 24. Oh, remember, I want to make sure I get this right. 6 o'clock Eastern. It's another free feature premiere from Sony San Diego. Their channel's right here on Twitch. They're going to talk about franchise, road to the show, and gameplay presentation. Miro, this was a lot of fun, man.
We got this, baby. Yeah, let's run it back for 25.
And the chat was you know,
phenomenal.
They're pretty good. You guys were good. I'm not gonna lie.
Shout out to
you guys really, you killed it. You surprised me, and I can't wait to L2 against some of you and make you rage quit once MLB The Show 24 gets started. Remember, let the ball hit. Don't rage quit before I go deep and the ball lands.
Listen, after you play him, you can play me. I suck.
There you go. Yeah. Don't sleep on my solid 650 rating. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's going to do it for everyone behind the scenes. And for the Kid Miro, I'm Robert Flores. Thanks for watching. Twitch.tv/RealRoflo. Twitch.tv/
The Kid Miro, no spaces.
Boom.